I think we're all on the air. Woo, with a minimum of difficulty. Hey, Krypton Radio, if you are listening there, hi. And hey, Twitch. I am Sean Crosby.
This is Jeff Soledado.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And this is Docking Bay 94. Woohoo! So last, there we go. Last week we had Jeff in his own window, and this time it had me in a tiny little picture.
Wow.
That's very funny. I think we got you covered though. And I think we can hear everybody, I hope. So it's looking good. So hey everybody, it is Docking Bay 94. You're listening to Krypton Radio, or if you're not listening to KryptonRadio.com, you could be over at twitch.tv/docking_bay_94 if you feel the incredible urge to see what we look like. You can do that, and it's funny. I am now in the dark in my camera for some reason. I've been doing Zoom meetings the past couple days, and I've been fiddling with all the settings, and I think that there's very much a different look depending on what how much white I have up on my screen.
Yeah,
it's really funny. How's everybody's week been?
Well,
that good, huh?
Yeah, interesting. I don't know.
All right. Well,
nothing really spectacular to go into, really.
We have only occasional milestones on this show. They're generally very small. We are coming up on our anniversary for the show, which I guess will.
Can we lighten you up, Sean?
Yeah, I'm more.
Apparently, Jurassic Sean is frightening in the dark.
Jurassic Sean. All right. I'm working on it. I can only go so fast. There, now I'm really bright. Ah! I'm
man, you were in a cave or something, eh?
Laura is negative for COVID.
There we go. Yay!
Congratulations.
Oh, well, that's good. That's
Holy
worth
crap.
celebrating.
Yeah.
Totally worth celebrating. So today is George Lucas's birthday. First off, happy birthday, George. And then secondly, Kit says it's her anniversary of being on the show.
5 years.
5 years today. So right on. So
for she's a jolly good fellow. For she's a jolly good fellow. For she's a jolly good fellow. And nobody can deny.
Well, you can deny it. You'd just be a jerk.
Okay.
I mean, isn't that always the thing? It's well, yeah, you can totally deny it. You'd just be a jerk. So don't. Just saying.
Which nobody should be a jerk. Nobody can deny it sort of flows better.
Well, it does. Yeah, it totally does. That's funny. I'm gonna get Twitch up and going here because I don't. But anyway, so yay, Kit, and it's the little milestones really that you got to celebrate. And we are on show 45 or something like that. So
I don't know.
Of this year we're coming up. We're almost at our 8th year for the show. We will have almost wrapped 8 years. I think we're year 7, show 45 or something. So
yeah, true. Yeah.
But anyway, still going because we're stubborn.
Well,
I gotta say, when you're home all the time and nobody's out doing things and somebody parks in front of your house, you're like, who's that? What are they doing in front of our house?
Right. What's
Where
wrong with
are you
that?
going?
Man,
You're not visiting someone, are you?
Yeah, it's totally rude.
They left someone in the car, though, so.
All right, that's fair enough. Well, and there's in our neighborhood, there's always the risk that somebody's going to park and go to the airport. And so,
that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be good. So I guess it's Laura that doesn't have
it.
Yeah, that's good. Yay! Nobody should get it.
That's what I said.
It's not worth having. It's just not.
Not really.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
Collector's item,
Right. It's I got it in a box on my desk.
Okay, now they're leaving.
Right.
Uh,
You know that
COVID rookie virus.
you know that
Right.
there's going to be like an action figure. Somebody's going to come up with like an action figure for this, and it's there'll be like a Funko Pop because there's a Funko Pop of everything. Like it'll be this big fuzzy COVID head with little eyes and a body. Just like
Right.
stick a body.
Oh, isn't that adorable little killer?
Oh, that's right. And that's gonna start off like their serial killer line. It's like, oh look, it's a little John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did do some stuff in the past week, though.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Grabs little boxes of Kellogg's.
Sean and I got in the car and drove. It was exciting.
Oh, we did.
We-
It was nice to have a place to go,
Yes.
which is the tough part.
We drove out to San Gabriel and bought steak. Brought
We
it
did.
home.
So it was our birthdays this weekend. Mine was Saturday. Colleen's was Monday, and so
Yay!
we decided to go out. And technically, this was like my birthday thing, but we both kind of like the place.
Yeah.
So we drove to San Gabriel. We went to the Northwoods Inn, which is about as Disney as a restaurant gets without veering into Chuck E. Cheese territory. It's a big giant log cabin with snow on the roof, and
It is pretty much like going to Disneyland for dinner.
it
though.
totally is.
Yeah.
And so Walt would have loved the meal
Oh,
because the meal is
totally.
like steak and potatoes and salad and it's like really manly. It's like
My
exactly
only
his
complaint was there wasn't enough salad.
fare. We did not get enough salad because when you go to a restaurant, the salad is like endless. They will
Yeah.
it's bottomless. They will bring you more salad.
And you got a pint of the green salad and a pint of the red salad.
Yeah, and
I wanted more.
it's really good. So they have the red salad is
It's just red cabbage
is
with
cabbage
a red wine
with,
vinegar.
with a good dressing
dressing.
on it and stuff. So
Which is it's excellent.
yeah, and so that was good, and we brought it home, and we're like, okay, we'll have to reheat it or whatever. And there were people in the parking lot eating it in the parking lot.
Yeah,
because
and
they're
it
like,
took us
we don't want it to get cold.
40
Scar,
minutes
scar,
to
scar.
get there.
Yeah, 'cause
and then
it's-
it took us about 45 or 50 minutes to get home.
There are two restaurants which are essentially equidistant from where we are, so it really didn't matter to
Uh-oh.
which one we went
Yeah.
to. So we
Gotcha.
took the most straight through route, and we got back, and we started unpacking this stuff out of the bag, and at the bottom were the potatoes and the steak, and it was still hot,
Yeah.
which was great. So for future reference, if you need to keep things warm, put a baked potato in there because
Yeah.
it's like
A really big,
It's like a
very hot baked potato.
total space heater down there
Right.
for the
Yep.
meal. Yeah, so it was
And
actually
they,
really good.
the special dressing for their salad, the red cabbage has red wine vinegar dressing, and then they
Yeah.
have like an iceberg salad that has blue cheese dressing on it. And when you put the two of those in a bowl together, like side by side, they go really well together. The tart and the creamy
Yeah,
are just
they're super awesome.
Yeah.
And so what
and
I
it's
did.
terribly bad for you.
No, and what's even worse is so this is a place that you were basically just meant to have some of what they offer. So like they bring you a little tin foil thing with like 4 slices of bread in it that have cheese spread on it when you're
Yeah.
when you're there at the restaurant. But
Yeah.
if you get takeout, and the meal was like $50 for 2 people. So
of course.
it was a shopping bag full of things. So when you get that, you get a bag of bread like from the supermarket.
Yeah, you get a loaf of bread.
It's their own bread. It's their own sourdough flavor. It's like particular to that restaurant. And so you get an entire
Cool.
loaf of bread, and then you get a big tub of their cheese butter to go on the bread.
That's awesome.
It's dangerous. It is a really, really dangerous thing. And they gave us cheese butter for the potatoes.
Yeah.
It was
Way too much fattening. And it's so funny
Yeah,
because
but it was
you're
our
meant to
birthdays.
you're meant to eat this meal like it's supposed to feed 2 people for 1 meal.
Yeah.
And it fed us for 3 meals.
3 meals. We got
And we still have the bread
2
and
dinners
the
and
bread
lunch,
spread.
and we have like half a loaf of bread still,
Yeah.
half a thing of cheese spread.
Right.
And yeah, it was good. So that was like our big splurgy birthday thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then poor Colleen. So Colleen was super sweet. She got me a Lego kit of the A-Wing. I love the A-Wing.
course.
It's like my favorite Star Wars ship. and she
That was
got me.
the kit that just came out, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the big, huge ultimate construction set. That's huge. It still has a minifigure, but it's like 14, 18 inches long. It's really huge.
Okay.
And so that was like really great. And so of course we're kind of here, and so it's on its way. She ordered it online and everything's taken forever. And so
Of course.
and so I'm like, okay, I got to do something really nice. And I thought, well, let's do. Colleen took the day off work. Let's do all the cool stuff that we haven't been able to do. Like, she hasn't been able to go to pedicures, and she hasn't had it like spa stuff going on. So let's do that. And then she was so sick on her birthday
I was sick.
that she
Aw.
should have taken like a sick day. So we did none of that.
No.
Like, there no toenails were painted.
I started feeling unwell on Sunday, and then I didn't feel better until today.
Yeah. Well, and
So
even
I just-
today you were just like, yeah.
I had a headache, and
Yeah,
it wasn't.
so-
I did not have COVID.
No.
Unless it has morphed into something else that is just like
Mm,
in the headache.
not really.
In
Yeah.
the headachy field. So just a really bad
Here and there, it depends.
headache and exhaustion.
Yeah, and so it was really bad. So Colleen's birthday was
It
sort of a
wasn't-
wash. So we're going to have to take like a sick day later.
It wasn't like
Yeah, totally.
the worst birthday I had, because one year on my birthday, our car died in the desert. We
Oh,
had to
yeah.
rent a U-Haul to
Yeah.
drive home.
Yeah.
You
But
got
that
to
one was
hang
a
out
better
in life,
story.
you lucky devils.
Yeah, this wasn't a very good story. But what's funny too is that I didn't even feel well enough to bake my cake. So
Right. Which you
So,
did
and then-
finally do.
and I baked it last night, but I still didn't. There's no frosting on it. There's this baked cake sitting in there that I have to frost.
And
I'll do it tomorrow.
I came out
Oh,
of the
boy.
kitchen and she thought I had dug into it already. And she's like, what are you doing?
Eating
No,
my
it wasn't,
cake.
wasn't. Not eating the cake.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, so our birthdays were at 50%.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what can they do, you know?
Kind of a bummer. Well, Colleen we have to have a redo on Colleen's birthday.
Yeah.
That
so,
would be fine. Yeah.
On Sunday was Mother's Day, so that's what
That's what you did.
that's what Aubrey and such. Yeah, so it was like I had a big breakfast thing, you know.
Cool.
So, and
Nice. What did you guys
and
have
some-
for breakfast?
Mother's Day gifts and such. So, it was eggs and gosh, was
It was
can't remember
memorable.
if we had-
I can tell.
I don't remember if we had bacon or sausage as meat. I can't remember which of the two it was. I think it was sausage, and then waffles, or Mickey waffles.
Mickey waffles. Yay, those
Yep.
are the best.
So yeah, we have the iron, and so I get to learn how to use the the Mickey waffle iron.
Yeah, so you have to
So
wait till it
that was
stops
fun.
steaming before you open it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then when
Cool.
she opened her gifts and such for Mother's Day, and you know,
Nice.
so that was pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah. We did we missed you on Sunday night, Jeff, because CGW did the stay-at-home movie of The Rocketeer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that was really fun.
I missed it.
It was enjoyed. And Sean and I actually on Friday or Saturday we started watching that pop culture show that they've got on Disney+.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And every single I didn't check all of them. Most of the episodes, and I think there are 6 episodes, the
Yeah.
movie in question is also on Disney+. So,
Oh,
wow. So for sorry, Sean
I
he came
completely
in.
distracted Colleen.
Yeah, he broke me. The pop culture show is about, they'll take one movie, like the first one that they do is Mary Poppins.
Right.
And the
yeah.
guy hunts down where some of the props and set pieces are for the movies. And then
Yeah.
in addition to that, he takes the found prop, costume, whatever, where it's in storage, and reunites it with the costume designer or the person who wore it or interacted with it. And
yeah.
watching those people and their emotions with getting to interact with these props or costume pieces again was just fantastic.
It is
Nice.
a surprisingly engaging show.
It is.
Way
Okay.
more than I thought it was going to. I have to be fair. I thought for sure that it was just going to make me mad. because sometimes these shows are like, "Hi, I'm Mr. Prop Guy, and I hoard everything." And this guy actually, he turned out to be pretty cool, and he's got his own collection. But he would find something, and he'd go, "You know what? Yeah, I could put this in my basement, but the Disney Archive really needs to have this back."
Oh, Kit says there are 8 episodes.
We've seen
We saw 6 of them.
6 of them.
And
I
that's
guess there's
why
2
I
more.
was
Okay.
thinking
Yeah.
that there were 6.
So I broke Colleen's head when I came in because I realized I need to do this before it goes away. Colleen just got another produce delivery.
Not produce.
Um,
Portos.
Portos, right. And so the produce comes with like a regular gel ice pack, but Portos comes with dry ice.
Oh.
So
I had to...
And I couldn't figure
go
out
do
what
it.
was
Throw it in
making
there?
the
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
It's loud.
Thought so.
It sounds like Dr. Frankenstein. So I will periodically run out and get more of this for my water because last time we put it in the fridge, I'm like, oh, we'll save it.
The freezer.
It was gone.
We put it in the freezer and
Yeah,
it's
because
not
it
cold enough
like
in the freezer.
evaporates.
It only lasts a certain amount of time. So.
But when he
Yeah.
walked in, I was hearing this noise.
Because
and I'm
it was
like,
going,
where
it
is
was
that
going
noise coming
nuts.
from?
It was absolutely
Just
going
gurgling away.
nuts.
Yeah.
So it's.
And I thought Sean was making the noise with his mouth.
it's like, what's the thing at Galaxy's Edge? The carbon freeze. It's kind of like having your own carbon freeze, and they stopped doing this. They don't do this anymore.
I know. It's pretty weak when I
It
got
really makes me
went there.
sad. We specifically got it because Jeff. We finally get in to the cantina, and we're like,
Yeah.
okay, Jeff, you were Han Solo. You need a carbon freeze, and then they
Yes.
didn't do the ice thing.
That's sad.
It was just a normal drink with a little, boba things in it. I was like,
Bunch of weenies.
yeah.
Yeah. But also when we watched the don't get the dry ice stuck.
No,
to your
it's all the way at
face.
the bottom.
When we watch the prop culture shows, it really makes you want to watch the movie. So we watch one prop culture show and then watch the movie that went with it. Although we didn't watch the Pirates of the Caribbean.
We almost did. We got very
Yeah.
close,
Boy,
but you
tell
weren't
ya.
feeling well.
Yeah,
so we
so we
didn't.
didn't.
But we did watch Roger Rabbit, which was really good to revisit. It's shorter
Yeah.
than I remember it being.
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit. I love movies that are like this.
I love this movie.
Sometimes a film is just an economy of storytelling. It's like you get just what you need out of the movie. The animated movies like Aladdin is that way, and Beauty and the Beast, and things like that. There's like no real extraneous stuff that you're like, oh, they should have cut that. What a waste. And Roger Rabbit's very much that way, and I think it's largely due to the animation that they had to do because they could only do so much, and had so much of a budget.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really holds up.
Yeah, it does.
We haven't seen it in a really long time, and Colleen and I didn't get to see it together, even though the movie came out after we met, like just after we met. She was broken from a car accident,
Yeah, I couldn't go to the
Aw.
movies.
and so she didn't get to go see it.
Yep.
So
That's a drag.
it was a drag, totally
Yes.
a drag, especially Colleen, who had to drag herself around because she had a broken ankle,
Which was a drag.
messed up her
technically.
knee, and
Literally. And I think that's pretty much. Oh no, Sean did apheresis.
I did. I have big old
Bruises
bruises
to
on
prove
my
it.
arm because I guess they had some trouble with my vein.
Ah.
And actually, it was really kind of interesting because I usually try to prepare for this, and I had forgotten that it was Wednesday, and wasn't it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
And so I sat down and I opened my calendar after the morning show, and so it's like 11:45, and I'm like, okay, let me see what I got going on today. And I open the calendar, and it's like 12 o'clock, blood donation. I'm like, ah! And so I just blasted out of the house. I grabbed my stuff and put my face mask on, and off I went. And so I hadn't properly hydrated for it, and so it took a couple hours. And by the end of it, I was starting to get a little claustrophobic because you have to wear your mask now when you go and you're there, and you have to wear a face mask while you're doing it.
Yeah.
And so I had my ball cap on, which had started to ride down my head, and my face mask was on, and I'm like trying to watch BBC's Sherlock was the show that they have Netflix now, and you just choose a Netflix show. And I made it through one episode, and I made it through half of another, which is basically about 2 hours, 15 minutes or something like that. And I'm starting to get really claustrophobic at the end, and my lips are going numb. And they're like, "Oh, we should give you these Tums, and how about some water?" And the poor lady across from me had only been there about a half hour, and she started to kind of wig out too. It's a really different experience with all this stuff on you. But I was glad I got to do it, and they were very grateful, and I scheduled another appointment like right away to go back. You can do it like every couple of weeks. And so I was glad to be able to do it, because I've been trying to get in there in like a month and a half. And they keep putting me off, and they had to scale back their donation schedule and a bunch of things like that. But it got me out of the house. And my reward for doing it was I went to Arby's. I got a Arby's sandwich, which for me is a big deal. I like Arby's. And that was cool. And it was in Torrance, so it was a bit of a drive. The only drawback was it took so much longer than I thought, because my appointment was at noon. I got there at 12:15, so it wasn't terrible. I was 15 minutes late. But by the time I got out of there, I was supposed to have an interview with Julie Dolan, who's a voiceover actress and a singer, and she comes to our Star Wars event that we do at Rancho Cucamonga, and so we had to put it off till today, because I kept going. They're like, "How about we do it at 4?" I'm like, "I'm not going to be home by 4." Like, "How about we do it?" I'm not going to be home by then, as it took forever. But yeah, so that was exciting, and glad to have an excuse to drive, which I really like, and glad to have been able to do something worthwhile. I mean,
cool.
I make platelets anyway, so if they can use them, then right on. Oh, and weirdly, I found out. So here's a back information you don't need to know. When I was a kid and my mom remarried, I took my stepdad's name, and I hyphenated my name. I became Sean Crosby Evans, which has proven to be really fascinating for all the people I went to high school with, because they don't just recognize Sean Crosby. They're like, "Who's that?" Like Sean Crosby Evans, they get. So when I started donating blood in like high school and college, and became eligible to do it, and just barely, because I was like 110 pounds. I like just made the cutoff. They had my record as Sean Crosby Evans. And when I made the appointment, they're like, "Oh, you haven't donated blood since like 2014. And I'm like, "Well, that's not true. I've totally done it a couple times at least." And so it turned out they still had this record from 35 years ago, which was really bizarre. And so I had them combine my records. I don't know if that still gives me a more reasonable blood donation count. By my records that I have kept, I have donated about 11 and a quarter gallons of blood.
Mm.
Oh
So,
gosh.
which
There's another
is a lot.
anniversary today.
Oh yeah,
Alan Kalachi's 8-year anniversary of his heart
of his
transplant.
heart transplant. Wow.
Yeah,
been-
and you were
that's
even
been
on the
8
phone
years
with him
already.
today.
I
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
I totally should have said happy anniversary. It's
Well, had you known.
yeah, and so so Alan, who does the Rancho Cucamonga Library thing, and that has been going on for like 12 years. He missed one because he had a major coronary event, and we didn't think he was going to make it, and then he did make it, and then he managed to pull it together and get the clearance just in time to go to one of the Star Wars celebrations in Orlando. And so he flew out, did a panel with me, and then saw some of the convention and flew home. And he just got the clearance from his doctor like the day before the convention
Wow.
to do it. And I'm like, so he's like, "Here's how to do the panel if I don't show up." But hey, right on, Alan. That's amazing.
Right.
And yeah, he wrote a book about it. He did one of those like StoryCorps things about it or something like that,
that's
where
neat.
he went on stage for NPR and talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's been doing good stuff. He's a good guy. And by the way, this event that we were talking about, the Rancho Cucamonga Library thing, it's still happening even though we can't go there. We're going to move it online, and I'll give you more information It's not next weekend, but the weekend after. It's the 28th, 29th, and 30th. We'll make sure you guys know everything about it, and it'll be on YouTube. You can just go watch it at your leisure. But I did an interview with 2 authors yesterday, and I did Julie Dolan today, and yeah, it'll be fun.
Neat.
Ugh.
Jeff, you want to take some Star Wars history?
Sure. Let me pull it up. Okay. First thing on the list is the obvious one, I guess. On May 14th, 1944, the maker, George Lucas, was born.
The maker.
Yeah. So it's his birthday today, and there you go. That was our first batch.
So it's not a maker space. It is a maker of space.
Yes.
Nice.
But really, though, from a long time ago. So.
Right on.
Yeah. On May 12th, 2003, we had Lucasfilm Animation that had launched at the Port Richmond Tech Center in San Francisco. So it was basically the offshoot from Pixar.
Cool.
And that's when I think that's when they started working on getting Clone Wars going and such.
Point Richmond. I wonder where that is. It doesn't sound like it's the Presidio. No, in fact, I just looked it up. It's in Emeryville, so it's kind of over Emeryville. It's kind of over by Pixar.
Yeah. Very
interesting.
Yeah. And our last bit of trivia here. May 10th, 2013, Lucasfilm Limited announced production of Episode 7 would take place in the UK. So it was their first announcement.
Woohoo! And the crowd went wild.
Alrighty. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order may be start of franchise.
Yep.
Jeff, why don't you tell us more about that, since you seem to know about it?
Well, it's a hard one for them to sell by saying that, because it's what the Wilson, who I guess is the guy running it, or who's it? One of the head guys there at EA, and he was saying, like, it's like, if you check some of what he says, more than 2 million unique players have joined the game since launch. A rare achievement for a first title in an entirely new franchise. It's a meticulously choreographed game. So he wasn't really coming out and saying, well, we're going to make a second one. But because he said an entirely new franchise, I think people are coming to the conclusion that they're going to make more.
Entirely new franchise makes it sound like it's not Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of a dumb thing to say, because it's an obvious no-brainer, because the game was so popular, and we know people who worked on it and did the stunts and the motion capture and all of that kind of stuff. I have. Do I have it? I think I have it, but I haven't played it yet. And it obviously it made a ton of money. Everybody really likes it. It was a huge deal. So are they going to make a sequel? Duh. Yeah, of course they are. But what they're battling is that by the time they get it done,
everybody will have forgotten about this one.
No, everybody will have either just or will have to upgrade their consoles. Because the next generation consoles are on the horizon. And so, like the PS5, what they're calling the Xbox Series 2. And so whatever they start now is going to probably get a bump in technology, and then it's going to be released for that, because it's going to take them like 2 years to get this thing out. The game itself is great. They've got all sorts of terrific assets already created for it. That's going to help them along. But they got to write a compelling story. And then if they do it like they did the last one, they're going to shoot it all motion capture. and that takes a little time, but it provides a better game experience for the animation. So there's like many steps that need to happen.
Yeah.
But our friend Darren Ross, who he's he was a stunt coordinator for it, and interestingly, he was also one of the main mocap guys and one of the guys who did stunts back on the old. It was it the Old Republic, the one that just had like really great trailers and stuff that came out for it.
They had for the online game.
Yeah, and it was Jedis and clones and Sith. They did 3 trailers that just knocked it out of the park, and he was responsible for those over at a studio called Blur. And so he took that expertise with Star Wars, he brought it to Fallen Order, and he's one of the reasons Fallen Order is such a kick-butt game. I mean, I sat down and I talked to him about it, and he's really great. And we should probably talk to him at some point because he's got some tales.
Yeah.
So
That'd
a couple
cool.
of casting rumors for The Mandalorian.
Geez,
Can I just register my giant sigh right now, and then I'll explain it when you're done?
Tamura Morrison as Boba Fett and Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan are the rumors.
Which is on the heels of the Ahsoka rumor that Rosario Dawson's playing Ahsoka.
Well, isn't Tamura just a little too old to be playing the character of Boba?
Well, I don't know.
I mean,
it depends.
He could be Rex.
He should be a clone, right? I mean,
he should be
because he
Rex.
was the base for all of the clones, because he was Jango Fett. And so to have Jango Fett play Boba Fett, I guess is kind of okay, because Boba's supposed to be a clone. But yeah, the age discrepancy is a little weird. It's the same problem with Bo-Katan and having Katie Sackhoff play. Katie Sackhoff did the voice of Bo-Katan in Rebels and Clone Wars, and so it makes sense to have her do it. This is the big problem I'm having with all this. First off, none of these have come from Disney, which is why they have a big, gigantic rumor sticker on them.
Yep.
Secondly, when we saw The Mandalorian, we knew it was coming. We knew it was a kind of a Western in space. We'd seen a couple of pictures, but there were surprises. All this stuff came at us, and we're like, oh my God, it's a Baby Yoda, and it's a this, and look at that guy.
Yeah.
And you know, there was a lot of really neat stuff that happened up to the final episode where we had like Moff Gideon standing there and he's got the Darksaber, and you're like, holy crap. It was amazing. Now we're getting all of these rumored announcements that if they all turn out to be true, these are supposed to be the surprises. These are the things where, you know, you would see like Bo-Katan show up and go, holy crap, and then she'd take off her helmet and you'd really go, holy crap. And this is supposed to be the fun stuff. And I'm kind of really annoyed that everybody's trying to spoil this so much. And we don't know if this is true. It could be complete BS.
People are just making stuff up. And they're like, they've got a big board and they're throwing darts at it.
And I really hope it's the case.
Maybe they'll hit something. You know, and then they'll go, look, I knew it all along. When they really didn't know it, they just started a whole bunch of rumors.
Yeah,
exactly.
And there's a part of me that really hopes it's the case, because some of this stuff is like from Screen Rant and Slash Film and things like that. And I know that that's what they do is they post these rumors and things. At least it's not, we got this covered, because then I could just dismiss it out of hand. But
totally,
I don't know how to avoid these things, and I'm starting to really lose interest in the show, because I think
the only way to avoid them is to turn off Facebook for a while.
Stay off the internet. Well, it's not even just Facebook.
It's not a while, Jeff.
It's everywhere.
It's forever.
Yeah.
And there's there's no way I'm gonna do that. But it's really making me start to lose interest in The Mandalorian, because if they're just gonna spoil everything, why get interested? Why get excited? Why care? Well, I'll get around to seeing it eventually, but, what are the surprises going to be? They're going to be minimized by this kind of crap.
I don't think that anything for the first season got spoiled at all by reports. So
no, and that was amazing. And people...
I'm sure they're doing the same thing with this season, so all this other stuff is just BS.
I didn't remember any of these any of these kind of announcements for season 1 for Mandalorian. It was just like,
'Cause-
it's coming out. The only thing I remember them spoiling was that the 501st guys were in it.
Yeah.
They made a big deal about that.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It's a minor annoyance. It's my hang up. Your mileage may vary. But I commented to someone today, I'm like, you know what? The more of these things come out, the less I'm interested in watching the show.
Yeah.
So, Mark Hamill had a couple of messages. You guys want to talk
Well,
about
his
that?
first one was amazing. Oh my gosh. So, since we are all like completely kind of like locked down, Mark recorded something from his house and basically gave huge amounts of credit to everybody out on the sort of first line of COVID care. And so with Lucasfilm, like official Star Wars page is behind this too. They got a whole bunch of information on fans around the world who are like trading in their Star Wars costumes for their medical uniforms and working really, really hard to do this. And so it was super, super cool, really nice of him to do. And the video is really just, it's like inspirational without being cloying, and which is probably just Mark, because he's just like, look, this is really awesome, and he's not like freaking out and doing weird stuff. It's just, these people are busting their butts, and thanks for doing it in the name of Star Wars. And it was nice. It was just kind of a nice thing, an unexpected thing to do. And it came out on Colleen's birthday on Monday. And it's just kind of a neat little, minute and a half video that says thanks and keep up the good work.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
And then there was something where Mark said his time as Luke is over, which I thought we already knew that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really no surprise, right? That he's not going to come back as Luke.
Yeah.
I mean, if the only thing I could see him coming back for was like some sort of Force ghost or something, but
Well, he basically says, my farewell in episode 9 was bittersweet. I love all those people, and I certainly have affection for George and the character he created. I'm full of gratitude for what it has given me and my career, but I don't want to be greedy. There is still so many more stories to tell, and so many great actors to tell them, that they don't need me. And he posted a nice picture of himself as a Force ghost, and with episode 9 behind it, and whatnot. But and he's excited for the Mandalorian, and he likes the Mandalorian, and he's like, those are the stories they need to tell. Let's tell some new stories. Let's have some new blood. And the next thing he's going to do, though, he's going to be in What We Do in the Shadows, and he's going to be an old ancient vampire from like the old days. And I kind of want to see it. I'm not watching the series, but I kind of want to see that. So it'd be really fun.
So in another of the long list of a single tweet that's made into an entire article, a prop designer who worked on the last Star Wars movie, whose name is...
Matthew Savage?
Yes, Matthew Savage, tweeted out a sketch of Leia's lightsaber and 2 photos of Leia's lightsaber, and said, I was fortunate to be one of the many people involved in the design of Leia's lightsaber for Rise of the Skywalker. The design began as a prototype prop make and bounced between myself and the prop makers until being finalized. The emitter area was inspired by a Walter von Nessen Art Deco lamp that JJ had taken a shine to.
Oh, that's fun.
And that is an article wherein the Star Wars prop designer reveals inspiration for Leia's lightsaber.
Well, and I'll tell you, the nice thing about it is that he gives you a 3D rendering. There's a blueprint, and there are 2 3D renderings with a slight turn to the other.
Cool.
And I can see the inspiration that he's talking about. You look at it and you're like, I know that lamp. I've seen that lamp. But the neck owes a lot to Luke Skywalker's saber, and it is a little like more Art Nouveau, Art Deco. It really fits her personality.
I'm just laughing at the number of articles there are where someone takes a single tweet or a single thing that someone offhandedly said and makes an entire article of it with huge headlines, and it's very silly.
Comic book rant, or CBR now, because they don't want to be known for ranting, so they're just they're just CBR. Isn't
that a band from the 70s?
CBR, yeah. Creedence Beer Water Revival.
Right.
So none of the songs make sense.
So we at Krypton Radio, we do the same thing. We have news stories every single day. That said, though, we try to really flesh out the stories, make sure it's something worth writing about, and we discuss this ad infinitum. We have a running Facebook thread that's just the staff, and someone will say, "I saw this. Do you think it's newsworthy?" And it's debated whether that is, and it's like, no, it's a throwaway, it's a rumor, it's whatever. And when we always put like 2 to 3 stories up a day, we're not as prolific as these guys, but we're also not relying on all of the advertising clicks that these guys do to stay, relevant. But these guys and others like them, and going all the way down to We Got This Covered, which is nothing but a gigantic click farm of made up stuff. They've got to do this. They have to take like one sentence.
Yeah, and make it into
a thing. That said, though, I'm glad to see this piece of art, and I'm glad that somebody. And there's actually a couple of things. There's if you look at the piece of art and you click on the next button, there's a picture of the lamp, which I didn't see when I was just looking at it. So which is kind of cool. And in fact, I used this same lamp as part of the inspiration on the engines of my car.
So I'm going to take back that I said the article was silly because they did do a little more work on it.
Well, no, but this is the original guy's tweet that has the pictures in it and stuff.
Oh, I didn't see the little arrow.
All they did was quote and link to his tweet.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad somebody called it to my attention.
Well, and then there's a third picture of the
Carrie
lightsaber.
Fisher?
It's
it is, yeah.
Hands holding the lightsaber, and then it's young Carrie Fisher.
Ray
which
has
I say
it
in quotes
in her hands. Yeah, young Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it's a pretty good picture. Cool. It's a still frame from the movie, which looks very different than his design that they showed at the beginning of the article.
Yeah.
But it's a neat design. It's good to get a nice close-up look. It definitely has callbacks to previous lightsabers like Obi-Wan and Luke's, which is really neat.
Yeah.
And it was very fitting for Leia. It's a pretty saber, but it's also really tough and badass. And so that's my
good. Lightsaber.
Like your lightsaber?
My lightsaber's pretty and tough and badass.
Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman.
Theme parks. Let's talk about theme parks.
Woo!
And all the news this week on theme parks, well, not all of it, but most of it,
involves Shanghai Disneyland
Disney reopening.
Yeah.
The first article that we have to talk about is that Shanghai Disney reopening day tickets sold out in a matter of minutes. And it turns out from reading another one of the articles, which is someone did a review of the first day at Shanghai Disney, and he said that looking at the number of people who were there, there's no way that Disney even sold as many tickets as the government was allowing them to. Like, so the government said, okay, you can sell this many tickets, and Disney was like, maybe not, and sold a smaller number, but they did sell out really quickly.
Yeah.
And that was actually, from reading the review, that was actually the part that this man said was so difficult about being there, was that being that it was so empty, it didn't feel like a Disneyland park to him. Which I love going to Disneyland when it's empty.
Yeah,
so
that's my favorite. And in the rain is even better.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would agree with him on that, but and then also there are no parades. There's only one live show. There are no fireworks. So a lot of the entertainment other than just straight rides was not available. And he said that the cast members did the best they could to avoid crowding, to avoid the guests crowding. But anytime the guests were given the opportunity to crowd, they did. So in a restaurant, there was crowding, and just any time that there wasn't someone to stop them from crowding, there was crowding.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's Colleen and I were discussing this before, is that we were trying to figure out how the logistics were going to work. And I figured the only way they could really do it is by like allowing reservations and things for
And that is what
annual
they did.
pass members and things like that. So it's good to watch this with an eye towards what they might do in Orlando and in Anaheim.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they get to sort of sort this out first. I know a guy that I work with at the Battleship Iowa who did security there, and
This week?
No.
Oh.
No.
In the past.
In the past, when the
Okay.
park opened,
Okay.
he was there for a few months, and he was a security lead. And there were all sorts of really interesting, like, cultural things that you would never ever think of.
Well, we noticed that when we went to Paris, that there
Yeah.
were cultural differences, and one of them being that in France, they don't queue when they don't line up.
Right.
They bunch.
Yeah.
And so for Americans going, and we're all trying to stand in our neat line, and we're like, why are all these people cutting in front of us?
Why are you a mob?
And the French people are like, what are you doing standing way back there?
Yeah, exactly. So there will be some things that won't transfer directly from Shanghai to here, but I think a lot of the logistical stuff, the administrative stuff, will be pretty good.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it sorts out. I mean, I wish them the best. When did they close Shanghai Disneyland?
I don't know.
Do we remember? I mean,
I thought it was February, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think so too. Maybe it was earlier than that, because I
bet
feel
Eric knows.
I feel like their time frame may also apply.
January 25th.
So January. So
Yeah.
February, March,
Wow.
April, May. So it was 4 months. So July might be a thing for us if we observe the same.
Yeah, but we'll also have to see
distance.
what happens, because the parts of the world that closed earlier are opening back up, and if that doesn't work out, then
Right.
hopefully we will take that to heart and do things differently.
Well, and we are also very we're very serious here in LA, where they just said that you must now wear a mask outside of your home. Period.
Yeah,
But-
in the city of Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
Right. Colleen and I have been walking around the neighborhood without a mask, but wearing it around our neck, so that when we were going to an area that was going to have people that we knew we weren't going to be able to avoid, we'd put it on. Or if we encountered
because in our
people,
neighborhood, we walk on the sidewalk, and then if someone else is walking on the sidewalk towards us, we cross the street
Yeah.
and use the other sidewalk. But sometimes you're walking and there are already people on both sides, and then you try to walk in the street and you're like, okay, there's a car coming. So at that point, you have to put a mask on,
Yeah.
because you're going to get within
and
distance of
we've been
somebody.
really conscientious
Yeah,
about it
it's
anyway. But we've enjoyed these walks without having to have the mask, because there are no humans in our general vicinity. And now apparently it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You just you're going to wear one.
Yeah, and
so.
it's the mayor said that it is when you are outside of your house.
Right.
So I imagine in your backyard, and today I sat on our front porch.
Backyard of
not
the
wearing-
porch is probably okay.
But if I step off the porch, I'm wearing a mask.
Right.
Because that's...
And-
And people were saying, how could they be that strict with it? It doesn't make sense if there's nobody else around. But I think it's because, one bad apple spoils the bunch. And even when Sean and I have been out walking, we'll have our masks at the ready and be ready to cross the street. And we'll see like a group of 3 or 4 teenagers walking towards us. None of them have masks on,
Right,
or
no
have
mask,
them
no nothing.
visible at all. And they're not going to cross the street if you don't cross the street,
Yeah.
or otherwise get away from them. then-
Front yard parties. We've seen
Yeah.
all sorts
Oh,
of
yeah,
stuff. But I will say, and you can tell by how weird my beard is right now, like wearing the mask is just like really messed up messed up like my face. It's like my everything is jammed into my face now. My beard doesn't feel like it fits. It's like it's not mine, and it's really nuts. So that's
Mela says nobody's wearing them in Orange County.
they're not, and especially now that they're like opening beaches and they're opening other stuff. I mean, we really kind of need to get on that stick because Orange County just had a spike.
Yeah.
They're still going up.
Well, Sean and I had to go to Staples this morning. Had to. It wasn't life-threatening that we go to Staples.
It was a target of opportunity, and we had a project that we needed to complete. So.
And we get out of the car, and there's another couple getting out of their cars, and the woman had her mask on before she got out of the car. Sean and I had our masks on before we got out of the car. And the man had a mask in his hand and was walking slowly to the door with it. And I made Sean stop because I'm like, no, let's wait until after he goes away. He's not wearing a mask.
Don't get near the scary guy.
Yeah. And, he was going to wait until the last possible moment when he stepped foot into the store because you're not allowed into stores without a mask. And it's funny the people who are demanding that it's their right to not wear a mask, which is ridiculous because you have to wear pants when you go to the store. You have to wear a shirt. You have to wear shoes. So you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Someone
I've noticed
on one of my
than half.
Someone on one of my Facebook pages said it's absolutely ridiculous that people aren't wearing masks, and they're citing personal freedom over it. You're not allowed to pee in the street because it's a public health hazard.
Right.
If you don't wear a mask, it's a public health hazard. Just wear your mask.
Well, and people are like, there's some people I know who have this little piece of paper, and it's something that like somebody made on the internet, and it says, I am sick and I cannot wear a mask. And
then you should stay in your house.
Exactly, right? and then the following sentence is based on the Americans with Disability Act and this thing I'm going to quote and this other insurance thing I'm going to quote. You can't ask me how I'm sick, so I don't have to give you a reason for why I'm not wearing a mask. And there's this whole like little screed that basically boils down to the fact that I'm going to have a tantrum. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm going to pout. And it's like, okay. And they're like, I'm going to go show this at Costco first thing because they have to let me in. And it's like, aren't you going to be surprised? No, they don't have to let you in. Oh, my gosh.
That's crazy.
It's bad.
My mouse went away.
Oh, did it?
Wait, it came back.
We seem to be kind of locked up over on Twitch.
You need cheese.
Uh-oh.
And
I need cheese. I did find a piece of cheese under my keyboard.
See?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a thing today that said France wants you to eat more cheese because their industry is suffering.
Not cheese that I found under my keyboard.
So
fromage.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not locked up for other people, so we're gonna go for it.
Yeah, it locked up for me earlier, and I just had to just go back.
Well, and
close it out, go back in.
I have to say this: I don't know who is like a Zoom whiz. I've been doing a lot of Zooming with various people, and we've been conducting interviews over Zoom for this upcoming Star Wars thing. And so we've had like maybe 4 people at the most. And the first time I did one, I ended it before the 40-minute cutoff and then started it again. And then Zoom said, hey, we're going to let you keep going because we like you. I'm like, okay, whatever. Because I don't have a paid Zoom account. And then at the end of that one, they said, hey, if you make another Zoom appointment to do another event like right now, if you schedule it now, we won't give you the 40-minute cutoff for your next thing. So I talked for 2 hours today to Julie Dolan and Alan, which was really great. And now I've got Jeff over here. And so the video you see of Jeff is him through Zoom being fed into our broadcast software. And we're up to like 57 minutes, and they didn't cut you off. So I just don't even know how Zoom works. I'm not even pretending anymore. I'm just going with it, It's really funny because I was checking Jeff, and I'm like, okay, we might have to reboot Jeff into the show. Nope, apparently not. We're just fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, not too shabby.
where we were talking about theme parks, Shanghai
You're in the
Disneyland.
middle
Yes.
of Shanghai.
Right. So did anybody watch the live stream? Because I watched part of it.
No.
You guys, Jeff, did you watch it?
Reopening of Shanghai. I did not. No,
It was super
I'm
boring.
afraid I did not.
Don't make me spread coffee on my
Well,
keyboard.
gosh, I'm glad that you,
Colleen threw herself on that sword for us.
It was
thank you
really.
so much.
They whoever it was put a camera where people were walking in.
Yeah.
And the guy who did the review actually explained what happened up to that point where the people were walking in that I had seen in the video. Because you had to get a reservation, you had to get your temperature checked, and you had to do one more thing. And I read this a couple days ago, and since then I've read someone returned to Japan, I think, after being out of their country for the whole COVID time. And I read what they're doing to quarantine people who are returning to Japan. And now I'm conflating the two in my head. But the live stream, it was like they put a camera up at the end of Main Street where people had to turn. They couldn't go straight. And basically it was a bunch of the people who work in the shops standing on the street corner waving as people came in, and people walking by. And that was the whole thing.
They had like a couple of hosts.
Super boring. Oh, and there was somebody who was speaking, but since I don't speak any other languages,
Right.
which is
So
I really got to learn more languages.
I'm looking.
gonna happen.
I'm looking at a still frame from this, and so they're in front of their train station, and there are a couple of local hosts. There's what looks like a standard Disney executive who's up there, and Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Chip and Dale and Pluto and Daisy and Goofy, and then down in front, actually in front of the stage, there's like a whole selection of Duffy characters. Remember Duffy the bear? The Duffy the Disney bear. He's got like Mickey Mouse built into his face design.
I think that Duffy the bear was really popular in other countries.
Yeah, well, and
So it makes sense.
yeah, I think so. And yeah, I mean, honestly, this looks like something that Ben
Are you
Stein
looking at the live stream?
should be. I am. Yeah.
And after I had watched it for a little while, I scrolled through it and I'm like, no, it continues to be really boring. Their castle, though, is amazing.
Yeah, and I mean,
It
obviously,
looks huge.
we're gonna have to go here at some point.
They have an awful lot of really darn cool lands and rides there. So.
I have
I've
to
heard
see.
the Pirates of the Caribbean is amazing.
I have to see
Yeah.
the Tron ride.
And you have to go to what is that now? Something Bay. It's got like
Discovery Bay.
Maybe I think so. It's not sure what they exactly call it, but it has the 20,000 Leagues or whatever the Jules Verne rides.
Yeah, they have that in Paris, too. Although it's
Yeah,
not a ride
uh,
in Paris, it's
like
a walkthrough.
Journey to the Center of the Earth and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So, it just, this isn't any more exciting than it was when I watched it earlier in the week. It showed somebody riding on the carousel, and it had people being interviewed, but I couldn't understand what they were saying, and it,
Well, it
wasn't for me.
at least it's open, and we'll see how it goes, because they're the test bed.
Oh,
and they-
Eric says that the Shanghai Castle is the biggest one of all the parks.
It's pretty amazing, and I'm wondering if they have the same restriction that we do in the United States. You're not allowed to have a castle taller than 200 feet. You can't have anything taller than 200 feet without putting a light on the top of it. And so,
Why
like,
don't they just stick Tinkerbell up there?
no, it has to be a FAA approved light so airplanes don't hit it. But honestly, who's flying over Disneyland anyway? Nobody should be flying over Disneyland.
So
darn.
it's top of the hour, but I want to talk about that when we come back from.
Okay,
you
we
telling
will
us
we
it's
will
the top of the
totally do
hour.
it. Let me check in on the radio over here, make sure we're still connected and everything's good. Terrific. So, you guys are either listening to KryptonRadio.com, in which case you were totally awesome. Make sure you go to Facebook.com/Docking Bay 94 radio show, which is where Boba Kit Sovine posts all the links we talk about if you're listening to the radio show. If you are watching the show on Twitch, you can go to twitch.tv/docking_bay_94. That's where you can see that. So if you want to go from radio to there, or if you want to go from there to the radio, whichever works for you. We are also, you might be watching on my Facebook page.
Which 3 Davids just joined and started watching all at the same time.
All at the same time?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Shout out to the Davids.
Yay, Davids. and so that's good. And then we have a YouTube channel that nobody follows. So, but you can look for Docking Bay 94 over on YouTube too, if you like. That's always cool. And as far as the radio side goes, shout out to United States, Canada, Germany, Ireland, Estonia, and the Russian Federation. Thank you for listening. You guys are totally awesome.
Are we going to introduce ourselves again?
Yeah, I am Sean Sean Crosby.
This is Jeff Solodano.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And as mentioned before, Boba Kit Sovine is doing all of our fun links wherever fine social media is to be found. And it's her 5th anniversary of doing so. So, yeah.
I don't know if we talked about this on the show before. This may have been something from a previous week, and I don't remember.
Okay.
So apologies if we've talked about it before. But I watched this great video of a guy who flew his helicopter over Disneyland. And did you watch that?
Helicopter? I heard about it. I didn't get to see it. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Because at first I thought it was a drone, and then it was like an actual helicopter.
Yeah, and the video was, he would switch between a video that was of him and a video that was outside of his helicopter that was just showing. And at first he thought he was going to get permission to circle, but then he was told, you are allowed to have one flyover. Wow. You may not circle. And so he had to choose wisely his path, and he decided to go over Disneyland rather than DCA.
Good choice.
And it was so cool seeing the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, I imagine.
He got really excited when he flew over the Millennium Falcon too. He's like, "Oh, it's so cool!"
I mean, I have to tell you, the route I would probably take, given this opportunity, I would almost certainly come over Tomorrowland, start in Tomorrowland, work my way over the castle in Fantasyland, and then into...
That is exactly what he did.
And then into Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love Main Street and all that kind of stuff, I just think...
I don't even think he had the choice of going
epic.
That direction because of where the Orange County Airport is, John Wayne Airport. I'm not sure if that was part of the thing, but he could only go either from Tomorrowland to Galaxy's Edge or the other way. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool. And then he went over the parking lot,
Yeah. It's super epic that he got permission to do it. So
yeah, I recommend going and looking for that. I'll see if I can find it and maybe post it.
I remember seeing it posted, and then I just didn't have time to go do it.
It was super cool.
What were you saying, Jeff?
Yeah. Well, for the longest time, the airspace over Disneyland was closed, so to speak. You weren't allowed to go fly over at all.
Yeah.
And I know that he's got to go over because they're closed. But I know that at one point I don't know if they sold the airspace or what, because planes and stuff are going over again.
He actually talked about...
stopped again.
He actually talked about it in his video, and Kit found the video and posted it in Twitch. Okay. This guy has a YouTube page called Micah Flies, and he basically just flies over things and shows them in his YouTube channel. And his video starts at Irvine Lake, and he just goes right over Disneyland. And he talked about how certain things you're not allowed to fly over, and how Disney was able to get that no flyover rule in place.
Well, if you've got a helicopter, you should totally do it.
I mean, he is using it for good.
Yeah. Well, and so there's somebody that I was seeing a lot of her videos around, and when she started, they were kind of wimpy, and now she's kind of like eased into her role and figured out what she's actually doing with her videos. An Australian woman who calls herself Supercar Blondie, and they give her this insane access to concept cars, prototype cars, all of this
neat.
stuff. And she's, she's like a typical hot Australian, but she comes in and she knows her cars, and they're just like, yeah, here's the key, go check out the car.
Oh my gosh.
And when I say concept cars and things, I'm not talking about, hey, here's a thing that we just put on display at the auto show. Like, there was one car that she had that was a BMW. It has autonomous driving. The steering wheel comes in and out of it and like vanishes. If you're doing autonomous driving, it just goes away. There's just no steering wheel. But the car itself is made out of like micro wedges, and so the wheels are completely encapsulated. The car expands. The fenders expand in these little triangular pieces as the wheels turn and stuff. The thing looks like a weird amorphous organic, like living thing, but it's a car, and it's just something BMW did to test out new technology. It's absolutely insane, and they just hand her the keys, and they're like, "Here, go check it out." And so she does like a rundown, and she walks around and goes through various vaults and things, and it's just a case of sort of what our society is now, and our level of technology and what we're doing. Like this guy with the helicopter, where he's like, "I could do cool things with my helicopter."
So
And he's doing it.
It's a 15-minute, just shy of 15-minute video, and at the 9-minute mark, he's just flying over Harbor Boulevard, heading for Tomorrowland.
So it's his whole takeoff from OC and then down across Disneyland.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he goes over the Angel Stadium,
Oh, great.
and yeah, like I'm looking at minute 9 right here, and I can see Space Mountain and America Sings, whatever
Cool.
it's called now. And it's really cool.
What is the name of the Carousel of Progress building when it isn't Carousel of Progress and it's not America Sings? Is it like the Cyclorama, the Cyclotron, the...
Big ground building.
What is it? I don't know.
I think it's whatever.
The
It's
spinny
Interventions.
thing.
Isn't it Interventions?
Well, it
now?
was Interventions. Then it was Launch Bay.
Oh, yeah.
so now it's
Isn't it still Launch Bay?
Yeah, I guess. But I feel like there needs to be a name, and maybe I knew this at one
That's
point.
the name for the building itself.
Yeah, there should
Yeah.
be a name for the building itself. And maybe I've just forgotten it. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something that needs research, I think.
Yeah. 'cause,
Eric says it
it
is Launch Bay, but that doesn't
Yeah.
explain the name of the
I
building.
mean, when I worked there, they didn't really have a name. I don't remember a name for it because they weren't using it for anything except offices. So I don't know what name they actually gave the darn thing.
Huh. So Disney World reservations they were taking reservations for June,
Mm-hmm.
and they've now pushed them, and they are taking them for July 1st. So
Boy,
we'll have to see,
I'll be right back.
whether that stays or whether that gets pushed again.
Okay.
Are you still looking for the name of the building?
I think it was called the Carousel Theater. Because I'm looking at a picture right now that calls it the Carousel Theater. Which is, may or may not be correct. Because in Disneyland, it seems to be called the Carousel Theater. Which makes sense, especially after putting, like, America Sings in it, which was a different show. But it was still a carousel concept. Yeah, I don't know. No clue. But isn't it something that you feel like you ought to know?
Yeah.
I mean, I do.
I don't have that information.
I don't either.
Okay, so moving along before the show comes to a stuttering halt. Oh, it sounds like Jeff's back. Oh, he is back.
Yeah,
He is
sorry,
back.
I had a canine that had to go outside.
Hang on. Knott's Berry Farm is postponing their 100th anniversary celebrations to next year, which I feel like we talked about that before, but maybe we didn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we did. I don't know. I could be wrong. I have no idea.
And the Universal City Walk in Florida is reopened. And I think last week we had announced that Disney Springs is reopened.
Right.
Yeah.
But they were doing it in waves.
Yeah.
I think it was just the independent stores were open. I don't know what is open in Universal City Walk, Florida.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Theme parks are closed. City Walk is open. That's what the sign says. And it says select full-service restaurants and quick-service food locations, but outside seating and Lone Palm area only, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Each restaurant has a limited menu and limited seating available. I'm surprised that they have seating available at all.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know that they're trying to space people out and around and things, and theaters are talking about doing like, 1 seat in 4 and that kind of thing.
Wow. And this happened today, and someone took pictures of how many people were pulling in. It seems a little crowded. But they had limited capacity, so I guess they didn't let everybody in.
Right.
It's still more crowded than would make me comfortable.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, totally.
Well, and what's really funny, so Disney World and Disneyland have opened reservations for hotels, even though like the lands aren't open and may not be open.
Oh, you mean the July 31st or July 1st is for the hotel and not the park?
Yeah, some of them
Oh.
it's like for the hotel that you can do it. And so like what's the music hotel? There's like a music hotel and a sports hotel and a movie hotel, and I think that's
Those
what
are
they're,
the
All-Star?
cheap ones.
what they're doing.
All-Star?
Yeah, it's like the All-Star Hotel.
Cheap.
And so those are the things. So guests wishing to make new reservations can save 25% at resort hotels through stays through August 31st. And so there's no real information that the parks are going to be open, but arrival dates from July 1st and on, you can make
Interesting.
these reservations. And it's both Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
So if you wanted to go to City Walk this weekend, you are required to have a temperature check before you're allowed in. You have to have a face covering at all times.
This is in Florida.
In Florida.
In Orlando, yeah.
Parking is complimentary, and cashless payments are available at all venues, though it doesn't say it's required. And then they said everything's going to be disinfected a lot, and there will be limited seating capacity.
Gotcha.
I have seen so many places that are like, this is our disinfectant policy now, and like big signs everywhere, and that's like the huge thing is to try to make people feel safe when they come in. So
Just douse you with a garden hose with a disinfectant.
it's
You walk in.
hose you down. We got it was really hard to find at Target actual disinfectant, and we ended up with disinfectant Windex, which is so
Oh,
it's
boy.
Well, we weren't looking for hand sanitizer. We were looking for like 409.
right for like
Yeah.
spray disinfectant
Yeah.
for cleaning things. And so I found this Windex and brought it home. And first off, it's yellow, which is mind breaking because Windex is supposed to be blue. And secondly, it's like very lemony smelling.
It is very limited.
And so it's like our whole house smells like that now. I'm like all super attuned to that. I'm like, it's kind of weird. But finding it is really hard because everybody's just like says disinfectant. Let us hoard this stuff. I found like a bottle and felt fortunate that I found a bottle.
Sean, do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm just gonna blast through these really quick because we have all sorts of people who are passing away, and it's very sad, and I don't want to dwell on it too much. But some of the notable people who we lost: Roy Horn from Siegfried and Roy, the tiger-involved magic acts. He just passed away. Joe Teague, who is actually, he's friends with lots of people I know on Facebook, which is really kind of interesting. But he was a grip on Marvel shows, did like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and things like that.
Yeah.
He just recently passed away. Leslie Pope, who has also worked with Marvel stuff as a set decorator and things on those. Jerry Stiller is Ben Stiller's dad. If you know old comedy teams, you will know Stiller and Mira, and those were Ben Stiller's parents. So Jerry Stiller passed away. He was like 92. Really, really good run. And recently we lost Martin Pasco, who was a comic book author. And he passed away at the age of 65, but he worked on Batman the Animated Series. He did the Mask of the Phantasm movie, did DC Comics Superman stuff, and I think translated the Batman design over to Superman. He had lots and lots and lots of things. And he worked on Justice League and Wonder Woman and Swamp Thing and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe. And the Twilight Zone as a TV story editor and all sorts of really great stuff. So he's had a good career, and sad to hear of his passing. And there's, I don't want to dwell too long on these guys, but it's sad to hear, and they are all relevant to our interests in one way or another. And I don't think any. I think Roy was related to coronavirus, but
But the rest of them.
I think everybody else was kind of okay.
Yeah.
So
Speed round.
Ta-ta!
Jeff.
Speed round. Hey there.
Do it,
So-
Jeff.
Do the thing.
I'm going to talk about something and two pieces of it, but it's really just an announcement that on May 16th, which is Saturday, they will be doing the original Muppet performers that are still around. Going to reunite into the anniversary, for of Jim Henson's death, and although it says you can see it for free, I haven't quite found where it is you see it for free.
Oh. Where can you see it
It's gotta
and pay
be
for it?
somewhere, but I mean, YouTube would be the obvious place, but I haven't found anywhere where the heck it's going to be. But, you
Oh,
have
it's a
to go to,
fundraiser.
yeah.
Yeah.
MuppetGuysTalking.com/Jim, and you pre-register for it, and then you can watch it for free.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you
But
haven't
it'll-
seen Muppet Guys Talking, you totally want to
Oh my
see it.
gosh,
Jeff
that
and I
was
went and we saw it
good.
at the Skirball, and who was it? Dave Gels and Bill Beretta were there
Yeah,
talking afterwards. Such a good movie.
yeah.
And if you have
Yeah.
any love for the Muppets at all, you need to see this.
And this is
Yeah.
1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Right this Saturday.
Yeah. So, and the people that are good, they're being can't talk. The people that are going to be doing it look like basically everyone that was in that special, the Muppet Guys Talking.
Oh,
So
cool.
It'll be, Frank Oz, Bill Beretta, Fran Brill, Dave Gels. So yeah, all of them will be doing it.
Mhm.
So it was just pretty cool. And I want to see this. The thing that I'm kind of bummed about is that I understand that they're doing it probably like this because, well, it's COVID right now, and they want some people to want to entertain people and make them happy basically during this time period, and do this thing they show this on there and see it for free.
Right.
I would, but I just wish it was actually on Jim Henson's birthday, not his death.
And not the anniversary of his death. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Or conversely, they should have done it. They should have done it last Saturday, because beyond it being my birthday, I think Jeff pointed this out, and I had no idea this was the case. May 9th is Kermit's birthday. And so Kermit turned 65 because, and it's considered his birthday because Sam and Friends debuted on that day, which was where Kermit made his television debut. So, I mean, that would have been a really good day to do it on, too, just on the anniversary of the first real Muppet show, which was Sam and Friends. That would have been good. Yeah, a lot of times they do choose the day of passing because it's just such a sad day. And if you go back, you can. This is still on YouTube, and it's really sad, but it's really worth watching if you've never seen it.
Oh,
Jim Henson's memorial service was phenomenal and heartbreaking.
Yes.
But, you know, all the guys came together, and the Muppets, they sang as the Muppets, and Big Bird did, like, part of the eulogy, and oh my gosh. It was insane. It was such a momentous, sad day for so many people. I can see why they chose it. But I'm in agreement with you, I think. I think the birthday would have been better.
Yeah.
Well, and Eric had asked earlier at the beginning of the show, and I forgot to respond to it, if Sean and I had watched Prop Culture for the Muppet Show. And we did, and it was really good.
We did, yeah. And in fact, so we watched that on Saturday because A, Kermit's birthday, and B, there was a thing where they showed the original car from the Muppet movie, the car that I want to build. And but what was interesting is they seem to have taken it off display of the Studebaker Museum where it is. And so I've seen lots of pictures of it on display. There's usually a little cash box next to it. So I'm hoping that they're either A, going to restore it, which they keep saying for like 10, 11 years that they were going to do, or maybe they just rotated it out, but we'll have to see. But that was the real impetus for me. I'm like, they keep showing this in the trailer and in the opening credits, and I need to see that episode. They did some pretty interesting stuff with it. It was definitely kind of cool. Jim Henson's birthday is in September. It's at the end 24th. Of September. Yeah, so I can see where they wouldn't want to hold this there. But
so I have just an announcement to make too for my contribution here.
Okay.
The Walt Disney Company, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Jeffrey Seller, and Thomas Kail are pleased to announce that Disney Plus will fast-track the premiere of the filmed version of the Broadway original production of Hamilton, bringing the 11-time Tony Award, Grammy Award, Olivier Award, and Pulitzer Prize-winning stage musical to homes around the world on July 3rd, 2020. It was originally supposed to air in September of 2021. So they're bringing it to us a little more than a year early because everyone is stuck at home, and I am super excited about this because Hamilton is so good.
Well, and what's really funny is that I know somebody whose birthday is that day.
Oh, yeah?
And she's vibrating. Terry Hodges, Tom Hodges'
Oh,
wife,
yeah?
is like, nothing will prevent me from seeing this.
That would be really cool to have something like that released on your birthday.
It's really kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. But we were fortunate enough to see it when it was here in LA. I'm really looking forward to this because I'd love to see it with the original cast, which is who we always hear on the cast recording.
Right. I'm super excited about that we get to see it with the original cast.
So it'll be really great.
I'm sure it won't be as amazing as seeing it in person.
No, but for someone like me who has terrible eyes,
it's probably going to be better.
It could be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it could be like a really kind of I wonder how many like virtual parties, like viewing parties are going to spring up around that, because we discovered last weekend that we can actually show Disney Plus stuff in the party. Yeah, we did the Rocketeer,
a way to do party viewing.
Yeah, so I mean, we could totally host
a viewing party
for Hamilton. That could be one of our costume things. But so this was a big deal when Disney bought the rights to Hamilton. They spent $75 million to buy those rights. And originally, I think they were going to release it in theaters. It was going to be a big thing. And for them to suck it up and to basically show it on Disney Plus and go, yeah, we know you already have it, and we're not getting any money from you, but here you go.
They were going to wait until it was through with its theatrical run.
Yeah.
So, and that would have put it through most major cities, like, 4 times?
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And so honestly, like, it's kind of a gift from Disney. They're basically just sucking it up and going, yeah, we know things are crap right now. Here's something cool to distract you. It's kind of a nice thing to do.
And what a great day to show it on, too. The day before Independence Day.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be good. We may have to have a group viewing.
I think we're going to have a party.
Oh, yeah. We don't have appropriate costumes. But that's okay.
I am working on one right now. I just ordered a little bit of fabric for one.
Oh, is that what you ordered?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I told you Colleen's birthday was kind of dodgy on Monday, and we didn't get to have like a spa day or anything. She's like, I'm buying a birthday present. I'm like, really? What are you getting? She's like, fabric. Fabric's coming.
Yeah, there's a company that sells really great linens and things, and they are having a sew-along. It's just of a shift, which is, underwear, basically.
Sure.
But it occurred to me that I am technically almost finished with my stays, which is the corset from that time period. And so I will need something to wear under them.
And right now you are shiftless.
I am shiftless.
Honey.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to point something out that's completely unrelated to anything. Remember I had dry ice in here before?
Yep.
And of course it's gone. It ate itself up here in the cup.
Melted a hole in your cup?
Because it didn't. But because it's carbon dioxide. This water now tastes like club soda.
Oh.
Which is really weird.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's really bitter and strange.
Gross.
And dry ice will not kill you.
No.
Well, I bet you could make it kill you, and it would be like, you carve it into a knife, and then
stab someone.
You stab
and
someone,
then it bubbles away,
and then
and there's no murder weapon.
Right, and then like
except a body cavity
it only
full
can
of
happen
carbon
in
dioxide.
an English murder village.
Right. Yeah.
Why does he have frostbite? Right where his stab wound?
Right where the stab wound
Exactly.
was.
I'm pretty sure that I've seen that.
Oh, that's
I think it was in Bones.
It's an old murder device where it's like, oh, the ice. How did he
shot
die?
Him
Well,
with
the knife was made out of
frozen
ice.
Bullet.
Right. Exactly. Whatever it was, it
With
melted.
Icicle.
Yeah.
I think in Bones they did that, and they discovered it because they found a tile in the swimming pool that was chipped. And it was crazy.
Bones is our guilty pleasure fantasy crime scene investigation show because they have magic technology. It's like
super magic technology.
It's like 30-second DNA results, and their facial reconstruction searches take like 10 seconds, and the facial reconstruction artist who was a caricaturist, by the way, and doesn't really seem to have much scientific background for this. She always gets the hair just right.
Yeah.
Which is good from a skull, right? It's like the hair is perfect. But
we found this one piece of a cheekbone, and I have reconstructed their height and
their height and their weight and
their
whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like all techno babble. It like doesn't make any sense. But the actors are really good, and the characters are very fun, and it's just a dopey I'm gonna be brain dead show. You like sit and you have dinner and you watch this thing, and you don't have to think too hard because it's all magic.
Uh-oh, it's magic. Sean.
Me. Okay. Let's see. If you have yet to see Reunited Apart, they're on their second episode, which it's Josh Gad from Book of Mormon and from Frozen. He was Olaf in Frozen. And the first episode, he got the cast of the Goonies together. And he got the villains, and he got all the kids, and he got Spielberg and Chris Columbus, and they all gushed about how much fun making the Goonies was. And it was glorious. The second episode is all Back to the Future. And it's Leah Thompson, it's Chris Lloyd, Michael J. Fox, and both Jennifers. They got both of the women who played
Except
Jennifer.
Didn't one of them call in after everybody else was gone?
Yeah. So the thing that's really funny, not everybody's schedule matches. So Claudia Wells was the first Jennifer, and then Elizabeth Shue did episode 2 and 3. Because Claudia, I think she went to go take care of her dad. She had a family thing, and she stopped acting. Yeah. And it wasn't because she sucked, because she was great. She was really terrific. But Jennifer had a shift in the movie, and they didn't have Crispin Glover come in, and there were a few people that were missing.
I'm trying to imagine Crispin Glover's response to being asked to do that.
Right.
I don't think it would be positive.
No, probably not.
No. Yeah. But they didn't. Oh no, she's dead. Never mind.
Huh?
Wendy Jo Sperber.
Oh yeah, Wendy Jo Sperber. Well, and they didn't have his brother either. Yeah. But Huey Lewis showed up, and even more interestingly, Alan Silvestri showed up, who did the score. Instead of just you had the pop songs with Huey Lewis, you had the score from Alan Silvestri, who got his start in TV doing Chips and stuff, and wrote the great music to Back to the Future. And then. But we're watching it, and they had the Bobs, Zemeckis and Gale came in, and they talked about making it. But, there was no Biff. Tom Wilson didn't show. And we're like, seriously, where the heck is Tom Wilson?
And Tom Wilson is known for being friendly about his role in
and he jokes about it all the time and all this kind of stuff. And all we could figure was there had to be a scheduling issue. He just, couldn't make it. Like Claudia Wells, who came in at the end, and she's like, did I miss it? I missed it again. This is the fourth one I've missed. And she was joking around, and she gave a really heartfelt thanks to all the people fighting the coronavirus thing, and it was very sweet. And she was the epilogue after credits joke of the thing. It was really great. Well, and so it's only been a couple of days since this thing's been out, and Josh Gad gets a call from a fan of the show. And it's some guy in dark glasses and a mask and coronavirused out. Yeah. And the longer he talks, you're like,
but
wait a minute.
He's like, I called this show to complain that you're a butthead.
Butthead, yeah, and
you should
make a tree and get out of here. Yeah. So it's really super obvious that it's Tom Wilson calling in and doing he did this little epilogue to the episode, which was really great.
It really made it, because I was feeling kind of disappointed.
He was the guy who was missing. Yeah. Which was sad. And actually what was really funny, so Jeff and I were talking during the morning show, because I played a bunch. It was Robert Zemeckis' birthday today, along with George Lucas. And so I'm playing Back to the Future stuff and whatnot, and Jeff's like, they should have had Strickland. And you and I had talked about that, going, it's too bad Strickland's dead. No, he's not dead. No. James Tolkien, who played Strickland,
he's still around.
He's not dead. He totally could have done it. But I always think he's dead, because in episode 3, his character dies in a cutscene. He gets killed, and they decided that was too grim, and so they got rid of that. But I always feel like James Tolkien, who's been in all these great movies, is dead. He's not. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were dead. It's not my fault. But please watch this. It is so cool, and I think they're doing it as a charity fundraiser. They have a number you can call or a way to donate, and it's just really neat. And it, in combination with stuff like Some Good News, it's just a real bright spot.
Right. Yeah. Which we need
when they do these things. Yeah.
Super For sure. Cool.
Yep. Jeff.
Yes. So the
Wake
final
up, Jeff.
season. I was only sleeping a little. No. The final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming fairly soon, season 7, and their character is coming back, or an actor is coming back to play a character that I don't think he's played yet, so to speak. So that's Patton Oswalt, and he's going to come back as another agent,
different
Koenig.
brother.
So,
Well, didn't he have like
just
6 or 7 brothers? He was like a whole crowd.
Yeah, they're all twins, or not twins, but
Like
all,
quintuplets or
Clones
something.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah,
But also, it's hard to keep track of what universe they're in anymore. I mean, I
I
love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but and this next season looks super fun because it's set in like the 1930s. But they've been in so many alternate universes that I just can't even keep track.
So there has been Eric, Billy, Sam, and Thurston.
yes. So. Yeah, and I'm guessing it's yet another brother that we haven't
We have yet to meet.
Play.
Right.
Yeah, so it's going to be great. But
he's gonna be named Stan after Stanley.
Oh, hey, I should be looking at what I want to talk about, right?
Yeah, totally. Well,
what's wrong with me?
I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This season, isn't it shorter? Aren't they only doing like they're doing like 6 episodes or something?
I think it's shorter than the normal run.
Right.
I don't know about being 6.
And I've mentioned this on the show before, I think. I don't know what's going on right now, like overall in the entertainment industry, but right now there are so many pieces of entertainment that are taking place around the 1930s. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is no exception.
Because this feels like the 1930s.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But this stuff had to have been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
Even though, like, right now it feels like the 30s and the Depression and all that kind of thing.
It's been building up to feeling like the 30s.
So this is going to take place in, like, 1931 New York.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of S.H.I.E.L.D., like from Peggy Carter.
Right.
Yes, and I'm hoping that she's going to she'll be in it. I haven't seen anything saying Haley will be in it. But
the SSR, which is the Scientific Strategic Reserve, it was the beginning of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, the actor that the character that she kind of ended up with after Steve, so to speak. With I can't remember the actor's name, but the character's name for that matter. But he's going to be in this season of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well.
Okay.
That was that was released earlier, so that's going to be cool. So I'm hoping she does too.
So when
you mean the Goran, the guy who she ended up with in her show in Peggy?
Yeah, in her show.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Goran. He had a cane.
Yeah, he was in Dollhouse.
Right. He was in Dollhouse. He played Victor in Dollhouse. He always plays like Russian guys, which is funny. But
I think he's Polish, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
maybe. But when Steve went back in time, did he have to off this dude?
Totally.
I don't know. I mean, when Steve goes back in time, how does that affect everything?
Right, because like did he slide in under the wire and usurp this guy? Or
are we gonna get a Chris Evans cameo in S.H.I.E.L.D. or something? Because it'll be like, hey, aren't you
Yeah, so
I don't know.
The reason, Colleen, that you cannot remember this guy's name,
it's very hard to say.
It is completely unpronounceable.
Right. Well, to us.
His name is Enver Gjokaj. Something like that.
Is there a G in it?
It's Gjokaj. I have no clue how to say it.
Right.
But the dude is in everything. He's a really good actor.
Yeah.
And he's very recognizable.
But nobody remembers what his name is. Sadly.
But he played Daniel Sousa was his character's name in S.H.I.E.L.D. And he's been in The Rookie recently, which we really like, which is the show with Nathan Fillion.
Do you smell garlic bread?
I do, and I don't know if it's the neighbor. Maybe
I hope it's the neighbor.
Maybe someone's in our kitchen.
It's really windy out though, so it could just be.
Maybe somebody's stealing our cheese spread.
No.
Now that we talked about it.
Yeah. Someone who's listening snuck in the back door and just stole our cheese spread.
Right. So anyway, it'll be good to see him again, and I don't know. I like I like the stuff that's all happening in the 1930s. It's just wigging me out. It's
I found a new to me pattern company yesterday.
that makes 1930s patterns.
Yes.
Oh, see, there you go.
1920s and 1930s, and I was like, I'm paging through it, and I'm like, I could make this one, and I could make this one, and then I'm like, where am I going to put these patterns? And I'm not actually going to make all these, and I'm like, want.
This isn't exactly the
Oh, dear.
1930s, but we've been watching that show Hollywood, which is
Yes.
late 1940s. It's post World War II.
Yes. I talked about it at my sewing circle last night,
Yeah.
and apparently it's not going to go the way we think it is.
Right. Oh, I completely expect it. Now, first off, it takes place in a completely alternate universe, and it's not entirely apparent. It you kind of figure it out as time goes on that it is not exactly the way Hollywood
It is not historical.
really was. But they take a bunch of characters and glom them together, and they do some interesting stuff.
It's still really hard to watch.
It's hard to watch. It looks really good. There's lots of uncomfortable situations. There's a really unusual amount of sex in it, both
Graphic sex.
both gay and straight.
Yeah.
And it's
So if that makes you uncomfortable, don't watch
except
the show.
except that nobody's dying. It's very Game of
Cha-cha-cha.
Thrones.
Yeah.
It's like, but
But everybody's prettier because it's Ryan Murphy.
That's right, yeah.
It's Ryan Murphy,
I think it's Ryan Murphy, yeah. And but the show's great, the costumes are great, and getting just the environment, like everything is beautiful, and it's all they're showing you like old school Hollywood, and
Like the buildings are
and
gorgeous.
oh my gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
and the cars
And,
and the everything.
Yeah.
And Fred Ward.
And is Fred Ward in it?
He's in it, but I remember
Yeah.
seeing his name in the credits, but I don't remember who he is.
He's at the gas station, apparently.
Oh, he's one of the guys at the gas station.
He's
Oh,
the guy he's like telling the main character about what they do and whatnot.
Well, no, that's
Fred.
No, that's
Dylan McDermott.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
I thought it was.
Looks like Fred.
No, it's Dylan McDermott, who does not look anything like you expect him to look.
Totally.
But he runs the gas station there. He plays Ernie West. And I could see where you would think he might be Fred Ward.
Because he looks so much like him.
I know, right?
Listen to that.
Joe Manganiello's in it. Darren Criss is in it. And Holland Taylor and Samara Weaving and Jim Parsons from Big Bang Theory's in it. In a really, he's an ass in this role.
It's really awful.
Patti LuPone, Mira Sorvino. The cast is amazing.
Yeah.
So it's really good stuff. But it's a hard thing to watch.
It is. Yeah. It's just.
It's a hard show to
It's
watch.
heart-wrenching.
Yeah. And frustrating because there's, even though it's like a fantasy Hollywood, like racism still comes into play.
And you could just see the train wreck.
Yeah.
because
Discrimination comes in.
The people that are being discriminated against, they're just so focused on their Hollywood dream that they don't even see the racism.
They don't see it coming, and then they're like, "What?"
And you're sitting there at home going, "No."
Right. It's like watching the train wreck. You can't look away. It's like really bad.
No.
I have
But it's
to
worth
say
your
though
time.
that something that was really hard for me personally was that they had Eleanor Roosevelt show up, and
Oh my gosh! And
And-
who was the actress who played her so good?
so well, yeah.
I
don't remember.
I can't find her in the cast
But it
list.
was like, I was thinking about all of the things that Eleanor Roosevelt accomplished in her lifetime.
Right, and stood for.
And stood for, and having, if I had to explain to Eleanor Roosevelt, who showed up today, what was going on in the world today, it just like broke my heart. I couldn't.
Harriet Sansom Harris plays Eleanor Roosevelt, and she was in like Nurse Betty and Desperate Housewives and Addams Family Values, and she's got a face that you'll see her and go, oh my gosh, it's her. And she's always consistently good in absolutely everything she does. And sadly, we only get like one episode of her as
She's so good.
as Eleanor Roosevelt, and she nails it.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Hey, I want to talk about Al. I want to talk about
That guy sucks.
Alfred Yankovic
He sucks.
and his Instagram account.
He's a jerk.
Where he posted a music video
Kidding.
from the Mr. Show Zoomtacular annual business call event for charity,
Yeah.
where a whole group of celebrities sing "Eat It,"
Wow.
and it's just fun to watch. So
Yeah.
watch it.
That's super cool. I'm looking at the thing, and there is no list.
No, there's no
of
list.
everybody. You have to know who all these people are.
Yeah.
And can I say, people, there's Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
Turn your flipping
Franken,
camera
yeah.
sideways.
Yeah. Al Franken was funny as heck in that.
Oh, is he? Oh my God! And
Yeah.
Al
I don't know
Franken.
who is this person.
Uh,
Person.
Fred Armisen is in it. Here's
recognize
that
him.
looks like Jack Black. Christopher Guest.
Jack Black, if I recall correctly, looked like he wasn't wearing any clothes in it.
I don't know.
He's
very
gone.
furry.
He has gone full like hermit beard.
Yeah.
Which is if I let my beard grow, I would look like that. Al Franken. I feel Al Franken really got the short end of the stick. I was so excited that he went into politics and whatnot, and then he just got messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell whether
What a
he's
drag.
wearing a shirt or not.
I'm
Very furry.
I can't tell also because it's also very small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm scrolling through a video looking to see if Jack Black is wearing clothes. I think he's wearing a shirt.
It could be a shirt, or it could be...
It could be a bathrobe. It could be
Yeah.
a Chewbacca onesie. I don't know. He's
Yeah.
he's licking the flipping camera.
Yeah, that's gross.
There's
that was
some
fun.
gross.
Yeah.
There's some gross.
Anyway,
happening.
you guys should, even though it's gross, you guys should watch it because it is really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sean, it's your turn again.
It's my turn. Sorry, I got so caught up in this
the owl
video
video?
because it also looks like
Have you not watched it?
I have not seen it.
Oh,
I have
really?
not seen
Wow.
it. I have that to look
Man.
forward to.
Nice.
So funny.
There's so much stuff that like passed through my feed, and I've been so busy this week with the library thing, trying
Yeah.
to get stuff done, that I'm just like, ah! Which is cool. So Guy Fieri,
Mm-hmm.
celebrity chef, and Bill Murray, basically are doing a head-to-head to figure out who makes the best nachos. And honestly, so it's the Nacho Average Showdown. It's a live event to raise money for the Restaurant Employee Relief Fund for all the people who are out of work because restaurants are closed.
Yeah.
And so he provides restaurants with $500 grants, and all of the money for this event is going on. And so Food Network's Facebook page tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Carla Hall is hosting. Shaquille O'Neal and Terry Crews are going to be there as judges.
Oh, wow.
And
Awesome.
Hunter Fieri, Guy's son,
Yeah.
and Homer Murray, Bill's son, have their own contest going on.
Uh-oh.
So it's a
for
twofer.
nachos or for something else?
I don't know. Maybe.
The way you're saying it, it's like they drink beer
well, no. I mean, the way it's written here, it says they will also do battle.
Oh.
It's like, wow. All right. I don't know. And
Probably
and so you have a total restaurateur and you have a complete amateur. But we'll
I make pretty good nachos.
we'll have to see who it goes. So, and just as a side thing, completely unrelated to anything else, we did the Star Wars exhibit at the California Science Center. And do you remember doing the big event that was...
The dinner thing?
It was the Japanese sake thing.
Yeah.
We met Iron Chef Morimoto.
Yes.
His restaurant is closing after 15 years in New York
Aw.
because of the way the climate is, and
Yeah.
he just can't keep it open. He's got another one somewhere else, like Michigan or something, that's staying open. But his big one in New York, he lost his lease.
I'm trying to
That's
remember.
a bummer.
There was some place that a restaurant that's closing. Well, I mean, Stan's Donuts
Right?
closed forever.
Yeah.
And there
That
was
Stan's
someplace else.
Donuts was across from the Fox Theater in Westwood, and
And
we
it's
used to
basically-
always get donuts there.
It's donuts outside of UCLA.
Yeah, and it's,
Yep.
oh my gosh, so many donuts from that place. Every time you were in
Soup
line for a
Plantation.
movie, you would get donuts. Oh, see, a soup plantation's gone. Anything
Yeah.
like that that's like a buffet, they're toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gone. Just can't maintain that. But
Yep.
anyway, so this thing with nachos tomorrow on the Food Network website. They're going to do it at 5 p.m. Pacific time or Eastern time, which would be 2 p.m. here Pacific time. So I'll tell you one thing on the internet, because of being isolated and there is no shortage of entertainment.
I know.
And a lot of it's really good.
If you have to isolate,
There's some
make
crap
sure
out
the
there,
entire
too.
entertainment industry has to isolate too.
Right, exactly. And and they're all trying to figure out how the heck they're going to start production again.
We were talking
Yeah,
about
boy.
that at our sewing circle last night because there were 2 or 3 of us who work in that industry, and just talking about the impossibility of, how do you isolate from a makeup artist?
Right. Well, and oh my gosh, so I was talking to Julie Dolan today, and she's getting a lot of casting notices, and she does some on-camera stuff. She's mostly a voiceover actress. She's also a musician in a bunch of tribute bands. She's got like a Charlie's Angels tribute band that she does, which is pretty fun. And she's been getting these casting notices that are like, you need to have all your own high-def equipment, you need to have a makeup artist, you need to have all of this stuff. And so she's like, I'm learning to do makeup, I'm learning to do this, I'm learning to do that. I
Wow.
bought all this equipment through Amazon. I cleared out a corner of my house so that I have a place that I can perform in. And like, there's nothing in like the union guidelines that covers this level of participation.
Yeah.
And honestly, we have now slid back into the college productions that we did going to film and television school, where we were checking out equipment, we were going to somebody's house, and we were shooting a bunch of stuff in the corner. It's almost exactly that, and it's just crazy.
Jeff, what do you want to talk about?
I will talk about Val Kilmer and the reason he's giving for why he only did Batman one time.
He didn't like the nipples on the costume.
That's probably it. Yeah, it chafes. What happened was, I guess during shooting, Warren Buffett came by with his grandkids
Okay.
while they were shooting, and Kilmer stayed in the bat suit, for the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and he's down there, and the kids come in, they're just freaking out over like the Batmobile and all this other stuff, but they didn't really care about Batman at all. They were like, oh, look at all this cool stuff. Like, so he's like, so the person behind the cowl is irrelevant.
Doesn't matter. Sure.
Yeah. And so that's why it's so easy to have 5 or 6 Batmans.
Right.
It's not about Batman. There is no Batman. It's just a guy in a
I
suit.
don't know, but I
So that's
have
what
my
he's saying,
favorite
so-
Batman actors.
Yeah. Well, and okay. See, I would, were it me, were I in a position to be fortunate enough to be playing Batman and cashing that paycheck, I would take it as a challenge to make it make the character more important than the technology.
Yeah.
And that's it. See, and I liked Val Kilmer as
wonder how
Batman.
much
I thought
you
he
can do
was a
that.
great Bruce Wayne.
But I wonder how much you can do that if you're constrained by your director
Yes.
and the editing.
Well, and that's the problem. You're
Yeah.
constrained by the editing, and the cinematography and the everything, because it's a lot easier to photograph the Batmobile
Yeah.
than it is to photograph a human being.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that
And
said,
it is, where did he get these wonderful toys?
sure. But that was like the 80s,
Yeah.
and so everybody remembers Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah.
Because he was super over the top. He did all this weird stuff to his voice. Like,
Yeah, they all do, though.
he basically made himself super, super memorable.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer could have done that.
Yeah.
Now that said, though, that's not necessarily how I need to remember Val Kilmer. because he's had so many other great roles that I would rather
Oh, yeah.
remember. That Batman, I never think of him when I think of Batman, because
No, not
that's
really.
it. I always think of Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
'Cause I think
of
Michael Keaton knocked
and
it out of the
Kevin
park.
Conroy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy, it's the
Yeah.
cartoon. I put them in separate camps.
Okay.
So-
well, then Michael
When I
Keaton.
think-
It's
Yeah.
it's like
When I
Adam
think of,
West, Michael Keaton, Kevin Conroy. Those three guys, those are my Batman.
Yeah, that's Batman.
Yeah.
When I think of El Comer, what comes to my mind is Doc Holliday.
Doc
Well,
Holliday.
see, what comes to
Yeah,
my
for
mind is
Tombstone.
ever hammer a nail through a 6-inch nail through a board.
Through a board, right? No, well, so for dramatic role, yes, I remember that, but I remember him more for comedy with like Real Genius and
Mhm.
Top Secret,
Yeah.
which were both really really good, and he was also really good, I think, in The Saint. I think he did a really good
Oh,
job in
The
The
Saint was
Saint.
so good.
Which
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
fun movie.
Yeah.
He got to show off his skills in it. He was charming. He was funny.
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff like that. You don't get to be that in Batman. You don't
No.
get to be that funny and that charming. And Michael Keaton kind of managed it because he was Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Even in the limitation of the bat suit, where he like could not move his neck, and he was like really terrible.
So we've got to wrap it up
Yeah.
here. I want to really quickly talk about some events that are happening this weekend online. The second weekend of Costume On is an online costuming convention that has workshops Saturday and Sunday. And you can just look up Costume On to get in on some of those classes if you're interested. There are both
Yeah.
lectures and some hands-on classes. Like there's a hat making class that I wanted to do, but I'm just not in that headspace right now.
Yeah.
The Avalon Ball was formerly an Art Deco era actual ball on Catalina Island, and I think we talked about this last week. They're going online on Saturday, and much like they did during the war years, where they would broadcast via radio the balls in the fancy ballrooms.
Right.
It's going to be that. And then CGW, of course, is doing our regular weekly movie. We're doing The Young Victoria on Sunday.
It's when we're not all sequestered here inside our homes, we run into these weekends that everything happens on a weekend,
It's totally this weekend.
and it is now happening online.
Yeah.
Where like absolutely everything is happening
Yeah.
online. So yeah,
I'm trying to. We announced something else. Oh, it was. There's something else that we announced that I'm like, oh, I would love to see that. I'm moderating for Costume On. I'm like hosting their consuite basically.
right. You're
Oh,
you're
cool.
being the hospitality host.
Yeah. So for like 4 or 5 hours, 4 hours, something like that, on Saturday, and I keep going. Oh, I could go to the Avalon. No, oh, that's what it is. There's a costume lecture that is also in that same. It is completely separate, and it's in the same 4 hours that Costume On, Avalon Ball, and this other costuming lecture are all in the same time.
Well,
2 minutes to wrap it up.
well, and I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm actually doing an event. I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to drive to the City of Industry, and then we're going to Hacienda Heights, and we're going to the Helen Evans Home, which is a 42-bed residential facility with underprivileged kids and young adults. And we're doing a drive-by parade. It's a bunch of people in hot cars and me, and we're all driving past the house, and we're going to wave at the kids, and we're giving the sheriff toys for the kids. They're going to deliver toys and stuff, and so we're going to do this drive-by event parade where none of us are going to leave our cars. Everybody's socially distanced, and it's going to be interesting. We'll have to see
We
how
actually
that
did
shakes
that
out.
on Monday.
Yeah, Colleen and I did.
We did but I think we were the only ones that showed up, kind of a thing.
Uh,
It was an hour long. You could show up anytime during the
or
hour.
we were the
and
last people to show
Sean
up.
and
at
I
the very
showed
least.
up at the last,
Last
we're like,
possible.
Quick, you gotta drive by now, or they're gonna go back in the house.
Because what happened was Colleen's like, "What are you doing right now? Do you want to do this?" And we literally jumped in the car. We just made it, and then we came home.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. So,
Nice.
I'll tell you what. We can keep going for a little while after this, but for the purposes of Krypton Radio and the replay, we will remind you that you were listening to Docking Bay 94 here on Krypton Radio, and
I I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
This is Jeff Soledado.
And I am Sean Sean Crosby. As always, may the force be with you. I just needed to get that in, and this will cut off whenever it cuts off.
Sorry for the delay. I was looking at a plate of shawarma.
No, that's okay. I sprung it on you. Wait, a plate of shawarma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We might be having it later in the week because my friends posted a recipe.
I like shawarma.
I mean, who doesn't like shawarma?
Tony Stark?
No, he likes it now.
Oh, I thought he was just like, so that's shawarma. He didn't seem very impressed.
I mean, he just had the crap beaten out of him. So.
Well, they all had it. But was it like right then? Did they like really pull him up off the cement and they all walked in and they just
they
ate
all
it right
looked
there?
all beat up and they were like, so
I don't know.
Shawarma.
Captain America had time to grow a beard.
Shh. Now I want to watch that. Oh, we have a whiteboard now to write down.
We do. So
I'm going to write it down.
There you go. So the project that we decided that we needed, that we went to Staples for, we were going to order this stuff on Amazon, but it was going to take forever. We keep forgetting what day it is. And we keep forgetting responsibilities that we have and what we want to do. So Colleen had us get a whiteboard, and so I made a mount for the door over here on the studio. And so we're writing stuff down, trying to remember it and what our schedule is and all the stuff that we're doing. And hopefully fewer things fall through the cracks that way.
Sean doesn't leap up and go, I was supposed to donate blood.
I have to donate blood! Get in the car and blast my way to Torrance so that they can stick needles in me. I can't believe how bruised I am. It's just getting worse. It's really weird.
I have 2 after show things.
So. Are you still with us, Jeff?
From shawarma.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You are echoey and quiet.
Oh.
Something happened. Did you check your plug? Make sure you're plugged in?
Nothing happened.
That's weird. I don't think
changed.
you're not coming through the headphones anymore, I don't think.
I don't know.
No, I can hear him through the headphones.
No. His headphones where he's talking through the mic, I don't
okay.
think he's coming through those anymore. He's coming through No, you're like coming through the camera or some other thing.
The hell?
Check your settings in Zoom.
Did we watch At Home with
Did it
Olaf?
just turn off again?
We did not.
What?
You're still on Zoom,
Yeah.
but
It's
yeah,
just weird that the audio did that.
yeah, I don't know. This happened to you before,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's a cable thing. You might want to check all your cable plugs and.
No, I mean, because it's just a certain amount of time it just does this. I don't. My mic is still set up exactly the same.
Well,
Nothing changed.
go into the Zoom settings, turn it off, and turn it back on again.
This week only, our technical problems are at the end of the show
Are at the end of the
instead
show,
of the beginning
right.
of the show.
But at least they can hear it, and it's like
Right.
nothing that we're
Yeah.
like, oh my God,
I-
something happened.
I wanted to. Oh, I closed the document.
Oh no, what did you want?
I wanted to talk about the announcement from Comic-Con. So I don't know if anybody watched the announcement of Comic-Con. They have a little short video, and it says it's just coming soon: free parking, comfy chairs, personalized snacks, no lines, pets welcome, badges for all, and a front row seat to Comic-Con at home.
Right.
That's the
Because
whole thing.
every convention is going online.
But all the things that you don't get and you complain about at
Right.
Comic-Con and
Personalized snacks. And can I say they get a bonus
Free
points
parking.
for using the Star Wars font.
oh,
No
I
lines.
didn't even notice that.
Pets welcome.
Or is it working?
No, you're still
You're still
still in the toilet.
Okay, so I'm sorry to not be able to include Jeff in this, although he can comment on it.
We'll try it. I've got his volume like way up, but I don't know what changed on
But-
your stuff, dude.
We have a
didn't do
couple
anything.
of things left that we can try. We can sample from
Yeah.
Scandinavia.
Okay.
And so the choices are Choco Flogger,
Choco Flogger.
which
you
is
hear me now?
it's a Classic K
Nope,
Havre
no better.
Trigger.
Shit.
Don't forget you're on the air, Jeff. We can still
we
hear
heard
you.
that.
They're chocolate cookies. And then there's Not Creme, which is cookie dough candy.
Right.
And then there is Salmiakki Matto, which is
That's
salty licorice.
The salty licorice stuff, yeah.
So, what do you guys want us to try?
Yeah, you tell us. And while you do that, and you put it in the comments. So just quickly, Jeff, if you go down to the microphone in the left-hand corner,
Chocolate.
there's select a microphone with a couple things in that section. What do you have in there?
I already did this, but microphones, same as system. That's all I have.
That's the only thing, is same as system?
Yeah, or the microphone I'm using.
Oh, that's weird. So if you switch it to same as system and you switch it back to the microphone, it has no effect.
See, this is same as system.
Okay.
Well, Wildcard 9, we're not going to be able to send you the items. Sorry about that. But we're
Here's
going
the
to
mic.
taste them here for your pleasure.
There's no change.
I don't
yeah.
know how that's going to be pleasure
You're not
for you,
coming
but
through the headphones. You were definitely coming through like a webcam or something. Do you do you have a
I think
regular?
we're going to have to end it, Sean, because
I guess so.
You guys doing the tech support, I don't
Okay,
think
sorry.
is-
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were doing tech support and it wasn't going over the thing, it would be
Yeah,
fine. But,
sorry.
So we have one vote for salty licorice because Audrey doesn't like me anymore.
Well, are you
And,
going to eat the salty licorice, or are you going to make me eat the salty licorice
Oh, I'm
and
going
report
to try
on
whatever.
Oh, you are?
I'm going to
Okay.
try it.
All right.
I can't say that it will stay in my mouth. Laura says chocolate because she loves me.
it? Okay.
Wildcard 9 wants to eat the licorice himself. And
Can't help you with that.
Eric says salty licorice is not for everyone.
Right.
So, so I don't know. I think we need one more person to vote.
We need like a tiebreaker.
We need either Brendan Tibbs or who else is on? Boba Kit.
Well, and
How
I'm
many people
looking.
do we have?
I'm
We
looking
have
to see
12
if
people.
somebody.
Jeff hasn't voted. Jeff could
Crap.
tell us.
Oh, I see.
What now?
You're already looking at. You're already looking at Facebook.
You want between
Yeah,
the
I was looking
salty
about. Okay,
something?
so Lisa says licorice. She voted
She voted.
because Lisa hates me too.
It's licorice. Okay.
So I'm going to open the nasty licorice.
Is it black licorice?
It is
is-
black salty
It's
licorice.
black and it's
Yes.
salty. I mean, like, why would you make it salty?
Because
Awesome.
that's a thing.
No,
Because
it's gross.
people do that. Do you need a knife or a scissors or something?
Yeah. There's a scissors
I
in
would
that
totally eat
thing.
that for you, but I'm over here.
Yeah, I know. We would force it through the camera, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Darn it.
I know. I did open myself up to this. But you know, I tasted the chocolate that was stuffed with that god awful Australian stuff.
Vegemite.
Vegemite.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
That was
Whoa.
so gross.
I still have horrible nightmares of chewing that.
What's hysterical is Sean was like, "This is good. I like it."
I ate
and I
the
were
rest
like,
of the bar.
This is so
Whoa.
disgusting. And Jeff actually ate all of the piece that he took because
Yeah.
he's polite. And I'm like over
was
here in the
rough.
corner going, blah. Okay, salty.
It was horrendous.
Ew, it smells like a tire. It looks like a tire too.
Yeah.
It's a Luigi's special licorice.
Yeah. It looks like a tire.
It does look like a tire.
Yeah, the chocolate with Vegemite was really gross. That was Caroline?
Yes.
Oh, it doesn't come off in little pieces. It's gooey.
Oh no.
I was gonna try and rip off a piece.
Oh no, she's repulsed.
I am repulsed. There, I cut a piece off, and I'll give the rest to
Cut
Sean. I cut it off with the scissors. scissors.
Wait. So Colleen would kill me if I used her scissors to do something weird, and she uses my scissors to cut licorice. Seriously. Guess.
You use these to cut like crap with. It's not like they're nice. They have glue
So
all
now
over.
we're gonna get poisoned because whatever we actually
Right.
use them for. And she's right. I mean, this does not want to peel apart because it's super. But the thing that's really funny is that it is made of like little singular strings. It's just that they don't want to come off.
Of course.
Well, it's really salty, and it's really licoricey, and it's like, I can tell you right now, it is nothing like Colleen likes at all.
You
ever.
know, when you go to the beach, particularly in Santa Barbara,
And the tar you get
from
on the bottom
tar,
of your feet,
this is what that tastes like.
it is what it looks like. I just took like a big bite. I'm like,
Someone asked if my tongue went black, so I don't know. I stuck my tongue out.
It looks normal from here, but
no.
you know.
I have to say, as much as I love black licorice,
Yeah, me too.
the salt might be a little too much.
Yeah.
It tastes like I would not be surprised if
My tongue is orange now.
I ate this and people were like, "Yeah, we picked that up off the beach in Santa Barbara."
Yeah. Well, if we ever do some kind of like comedy video where people have to eat tar, we know what to use.
Wildcard 9 wants us to send the rest.
Well, I mean, I did just take a big, huge bite out of it, and it will be stale
probably
by the
not,
time
yeah.
it gets to you.
Where does Wildcard 9 live?
You know, I don't remember. I knew that.
Can we
Maybe
eat
in the
these,
city, a better black licorice.
Ooh, Jeff just got a little louder.
can we eat these cookie dough things?
See, I
Because
don't know what it
otherwise
is.
Yes,
I'm
you
gonna have to go brush my teeth.
you obviously need to get the taste out of your mouth somehow. So now we have these little cookie dough deals.
This was all stuck to my teeth, and I drank all my tea.
Well, I only have
Coffee, ew.
no, I don't have coffee.
You have the
I'm out of
water
coffee.
from-
I have the Club Soda dry ice
Yeah.
water, which is like really bitter tasting too.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
Boston. Yeah, sorry, we would have mailed it to you if we had 2 of them.
It's either the Death Star, or it's what is it? Mimas, which is the moon that kind of looks like
Yeah.
like Mimas. It's got that weird little divot in its thing, so it's
Yeah.
like, cool.
It's
That's no moon.
That's no moon.
it's more liquidy in the middle than I thought it was going to be.
Oh,
I mean, not liquidy, but like
runny. It is.
runny.
It
Yeah.
does taste
Caramel.
like cookie dough,
Oh, okay.
but it tastes like gingerbread cookie dough.
It does.
So it's like runny, cookie doughy, and it's like
I don't think I've ever eaten raw gingerbread cookie dough.
no.
I've baked it, but I just didn't think to put it
It's
in my mouth.
as if gingerbread were peanut butter.
Oh my gosh, I need that now.
Gingerbread peanut butter.
It's like Nutella, but gingerbread flavor
well,
instead
no.
of
There's
hazelnut.
that cookie spread.
I don't like that.
It tastes kind of like that.
The speculous.
Speculous.
That's what they call it at Trader Joe's.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't we try something else that we I was desperate the other day and we actually ate there was some caramel in there and we ate it without sharing with you guys, sorry. Cuz that's how we roll.
Shame.
And it was gingerbread flavored caramel. It was so good.
There's like
It's cookie butter.
cookie butter. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, but the other name for it is like speculous.
I'm sorry. Speculous sounds like something you go to the doctor for.
Yes.
I'm not eating that. That's not going to happen.
We'll stow away.
Man, that's bitter.
Trader Joe's, it's called speculoos.
Yeah, okay.
Speculoos.
Still sounds like something you see the doctor for.
Maybe that's why I don't like it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it is. I got a case of the speculoos.
Yeah, that was good.
Maybe that's what you get when you eat cookie dough. Raw.
The Saturday morning show.
Speculoos? The Saturday morning cartoon? There, when I was looking at Robert Zemeckis' birthday thing,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to get there, but on IMDb, he had a show that sounded kind of interesting. First off, supposedly, Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2 is in pre-production.
Yeah, supposedly.
Right, whatever.
Maybe they'll use my teacher's my old teacher's music this time, huh?
Right. So there's a thing called Tuned Out that he's working on. That's called, it says, an everyman begins seeing iconic cartoon characters who help him to understand the meaning of life. Now,
Oh boy.
I feel like Colleen and I saw this, which was a television series called Eli Stone, except the guy had a brain tumor which made him see George Michael and other weird things, and which helped him understand the meaning of life.
It also caused him to see everybody breaking into song all the time.
Right. They would have big musical numbers in the middle of his
Gotcha.
legal firm and things like that. It was Johnny Lee Miller, which was great. It was the first time we really acknowledged Johnny Lee Miller in anything, I think. And he turned out to be pretty great. But this sounds very much like that, except with cartoon characters.
Gotcha.
So it's like, today Yogi Bear shows me the meaning of life. Which, could be fun, admittedly. There is no cast. There's no nothing.
Brendan wants to see my Firefly shirt, but there's so much delay that I am waiting for the
eventually.
video to catch up to me.
Oh. Well, I mean, just do it, and
Yeah.
it should be okay.
Firefly.
Yeah, you can see most of it.
Yeah. But I'll sit up taller.
There you go. I mean, it's just the logo.
Yeah, it's just the logo.
Yeah, it
I have
doesn't have
another
anything else clever on it.
That has other clever things on it.
Yeah, but I saw a comic I meant to send you, which you may or may not have read, because it was like a free comic book day comic.
Uh-huh.
But it was River babysitting Zoe's daughter and telling her a story.
Oh, I did not see this.
I will
need
send
to
it.
see this.
I will
Thank
send
you.
it to you. It's very emotional.
I'm getting emotional just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And since the stay at home, I get emotional over like everything. I mean, all of these videos that people are doing, I'm just crying through all of them.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like continually watching Dumbo or
Yeah.
Bambi or something.
Gotcha.
it's a problem because basically, yeah, it's the old joke that's like, I cry at phone commercials. Yeah, that's pretty much true.
Yeah.
It's very bad around our house. Albert Bishop mentioned that salty licorice was like German licorice, and it's actually like Swedish licorice or something. It's like Norwegian. Did it say where the licorice was from?
Hang on. I'm looking. Oh, we were supposed to vote for which of these things we liked.
Oh. Well, I know that you don't like this one.
Pork.
Finland.
Finland.
And that's why Tapani, when we first opened the
Right.
box, Tapani said he wanted to see my reaction
Right,
to it.
our friend Tapani is from Finland, and he's like,
Oh, wow.
this is a snack of my childhood.
It says, in Finland, salty licorice, salmiakki, is nothing short of a national treasure. Locals literally refer to it as black gold. And I can't get
Nice.
the taste of it out of my mouth. Like, I keep having little memories of it. It's gross.
Black gold.
And
Finnish
yet-
tea.
And yet, tourists often wind up spitting it out. I must be a tourist.
Yep.
What makes the sweet so divisive? It's made with salmiak, which is an ammonium chloride, which is it's either insanely or intensely, because it actually just says NSELY.
Ah,
It was once used as a medicine to clear stuffy sinuses. In fact, historians believe the licorice salmiak combo was first created to entice children to take their meds, and from there evolved into a local obsession.
It tastes like medicine.
Ready to see
I
where
will
you
say.
stand? Give it a try and decide for yourself. Does it taste like medicine or treasure? No, it tastes like tar. We already described this.
Tastes like tar.
It contains sugar, wheat flour, natural flavors, ammonium chloride, sorbitol, guar gum, and potassium sorbate.
I
Yum.
know that this is not exactly right, but ammonium chloride, is that what you said?
Yeah.
That doesn't
Isn't that
sound
like
a good
truth serum or something? Oh, we gave him ammonium chloride.
Now I can ask him. Sean ate the licorice. I can ask him
like-
all the questions.
I mean, honestly,
what do you
it's like-
guys want to know?
We gave him the ammonium chloride. He'll spill his guts soon. It's like, truth serum, Bart. No wonder it was popular for parents to give to their kids. Yeah, did you do your homework? Oh, no, I did not do my homework. I have been eating candy.
So the gingerbread toffee, which was what we had the other day, which was so good.
That was really
It is
good.
traditional holiday treat considered essential at Christmas parties. And in Sweden, gingerbread toffee is a big thing. And then the cookie dough pralines, which is what we just ate after the licorice, is from Sweden. And it comes from Göteborg,
Gutterbiten.
which is one of the world's largest candy shops filled with over 4,000 unique sweets. Eucalyptus chews, Turkish pepper caramels, and that's it. They're saying some other
just
stuff.
those
But
two.
it was boring.
Wow, it's that's a huge
Candy store,
yeah.
37,000 square feet.
And I feel like the translation of that is something really basic like good eating.
I thought it was gotta bite it.
Maybe.
Now I want to look at the candy store. Gotta biten.
Gottabiten. It comes
Gotta
right
bite
up.
is Sweden.
It comes right up.
I would like
They
to know how
also-
badly I'm murdering
Oh, I don't
all
know.
these words.
Gottabiten.
You never know.
They also have a tobacco shop for some reason.
Kind of makes sense.
But
Well, you gotta kind of like wipe out that ammonium taste.
right. I don't feel like I want to tell the truth. But I don't know. I also can't really find a good Finnish to English translator. Here we go. So apparently, Gottabitten translates to Gottabitten. Just in case you needed to know that. So whatever it is.
Yeah.
But actually it says it's Swedish. It's not Finnish. It's Swedish. It means good bit. Which
Well, I said
yeah.
that. I said it's in Sweden.
Yeah. I thought it was. I was stuck on Finland
it's-
for some reason.
For horses?
Yep. But
They disappeared.
The horses?
where did the horses go?
Why are we talking about
No.
horses?
I don't know. You said
Oh,
it's a
Jeff
good pick.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Right. He turned into the Millennium Falcon.
Amazing, huh?
He did.
Yeah. He is now coming out of this camera over here.
Oh, I wonder.
Maybe Zoom kicked me out.
No. I think you're still going. I think something changed. There we go. Something changed over on my end of things.
Weird.
I must have. Well, I'll tell you what. So I have a thing. I have some hotkeys set up, and I can switch through a variety of studio settings. To get through these things, and I think
Gotcha.
that's what happened. I must
Whoa,
have.
huge.
I must have hit a button. That's right.
Yeah.
And now, Giant Jeff. Yeah, actually, I have all sorts of weird things because I've been doing stuff for Rancho Cucamonga's library and things like that. And so I have all these other screens with little star fields. And
Okay, life goals, people. I want to go to this candy store in Sweden.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweden, yeah, we go there. That would be
Yeah,
good.
that's good.
Okay. If we go, we could sing the International Friendship Song.
You'd have to learn all the words,
Yes.
or at least one of us would.
So I feel like I need to eat this while it's still fresh and gooey. Otherwise, it will get nasty if it gets hard.
I think it's too late.
Like it's not hard.
It's kind of
You just said gets nasty.
Yeah.
just not gonna.
Well, actually, what's really funny, if you guys have ever eaten a zinger, this looks like the frosting off the zinger. Except,
Sure doesn't taste like it.
yeah, it does not taste like it.
Black liquor zinger.
Yeah, those would sell. Did you ever eat snowballs? The little
Yeah.
fuzzy coconut things that were like
Yeah.
pink or white?
Yeah,
Did you ever throw one?
I don't think so.
What did you throw?
A snowball?
Oh,
Like the candy.
dear.
Yeah, the little cake, the hostess cake.
Audrey is singing the International Friendship Song over here.
Oh, the Shuna, oh, the Shuna, oh, the Shuna Schnitzelbang. We spent about a week with Audrey. We stayed with her,
In Florida.
and
I
her
outed where Audrey
Audrey's
lives.
from, and her family, and I spent so much time with her son. A, teaching him the International Friendship Song, and then B, making up verses all weekend. It was so much fun. And now he has no idea what that song is and who I am. But oh my gosh, man, that kid can dance. Let me tell you, that's pretty amazing. So kind of talking about food, I have been catching this out of the corner of my eye for the past week. It's an action figure stand. It's actually 2 action figure stands, and every time I see it, I think it's a graham cracker. Like I have left a half-eaten graham cracker on my desk because it looks like this. And every time I see it, I'm like, what's with this graham cracker that's on the desk? I don't understand. And yeah, I'm going to have to throw it away because I keep seeing it going, what's with this graham cracker?
Man.
But I got to tell you, even action figures now are sort of self-isolating because the action figures, they also come with masks. So you have to have a mask
Oh my
to
gosh.
self-isolate.
All of these action figures need masks?
Yeah.
It's going to take a while.
Actually,
Jeez.
I made some masks for some of our little stuffed pals and robot pals and stuff because I did a video that was a teaser video for the library, and so in my car I put a mask on R2-D2, I put a mask on BB-8, and I put a mask on both of the porgs that I've got. I had to make little tiny surgical masks for them, which were really, really funny. They came out really well. And so I show a little quick cut to each of them as they beep and chirp and squawk, and it was very fun. But
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine making really tiny ones for the action figures. That would be a pain.
That would be
Yeah.
glue.
Yeah, that would
Glued
be good.
directly to their faces.
So let's see. We made it pretty much through the document, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that licorice
Pretty
made me
much.
sick, or maybe it was the candy. I don't know, but
Oh,
I feel
no.
ill now.
Whatever it was, Colleen's completely grossed out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Plus, I've been sitting in this chair since 8 this morning.
Well, and we've been broadcasting this for
Ugh.
2.5
so I
hours,
think it's time to say
Yeah.
goodnight.
maybe.
Yep.
It's very
To all our
difficult for
company.
Sean to say goodnight.
It is. It's pretty terrible. All right. I was gonna take a look at the document and see, make sure we hadn't forgotten anything, but I think we're pretty good. We'll figure it out from there.
Yeah.
So we will do this all again next weekend. Next week, not the weekend. We'll tell you about our
Next
weekend.
Thursday.
When we survive our weekend, we will tell you about it next Thursday. Tomorrow, I will be on the air to wrap up the week for Good Morning Tatooine. There's all sorts of birthdays I did not get to today because I played all music from Robert Zemeckis and for George Lucas.
Yeah.
And we did memorialize Goose from Top Gun, who passed away 34 years ago today. Poor Goose. Or sorry, Goose. I blame Pete Mitchell. But we played some Top Gun music on behalf of Goose's passing, which is technically, I think, this weekend. I've heard mixed dates. I think it's actually the 16th, but people keep saying it's the 13th, so I just split the difference. But tomorrow I'll play catch up with the birthdays that we missed. So tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time for Good Morning Tatooine. We will do this again next week, and I hope you guys have a really, really tremendous week. Do stay safe. Be careful. I know that our mask restrictions got really tight in California, so please do observe those. I don't know if they're going to write tickets or what they're going to do if you don't do it. But
bonk you on the head.
we shall see. And we'll check in with you next week.
Yay.
Night, everybody.
Good night, Jeff.
Good night.
Good night, Colleen.
Good night, Colleen.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. And now I have to find where to sign off. Signing off the radio. Bye, Krypton Radio. Boink. Goodbye, Twitch and Facebook
Good night,
and YouTube.
Vienna.
We'll see you later. You know, and see, this is where those keys like come in handy because I have a total, credit screen that I never ever show. Because we always run really, really long.
There it is.
That's the credit screen. We will see all y'all later on. Have a good one, guys.